The following is brought to you by the People's National Party.
Make the trumpets play. Jamaican people want better. Economy coming like stormy weather. Ancestors are turning on them grave. To get tell me how we can do it together. When we look at the future of precipice, we see Jamaica needs the vision of the PNP. People said the bag of promises, them can't carry go shop. And the crime rate getting high, I wonder when it all goes down, comrades. Jamaican people want better. Economy coming like stormy weather. Ancestors are turning on them grave. We can tell me how.
The proceeding was brought to you by the People's National Party.
So why you come to me with that foolishness, you know? You elect a prime minister, and is a prime minister run the country. It is time we learn to hold our leaders accountable for their actions and stop making excuses for them. Stop making excuses. Otherwise, go elect the people who really run in the country. And I don't want the right stand that stupid argument. Hold the people you elect accountable. And stop making excuses for them. The scale of dealing with anti-corruption issues. So there is a learning curve that we are going through. What is important is that the government supports the development of the institution so it can accelerate very quickly on that learning curve and provide the resources so that they can move very quickly on the learning curve, and that the government does not intervene or interfere. And that message goes to the opposition as well. Leave the anti-corruption and policing agencies to do their jobs.
All right. Hello, welcome. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday to those in television land. Happy Tuesday to our silent supporters. Happy Tuesday to everyone in the chat. Thank you so much for your continued support and endorsements. Really appreciate it. Tonight's topic is the Web of Deception and SSL update with your host, Baron, Anne-Marie, Pastor Ricky, and Melting Pot. Remember, guys, when you come in, please thumbs up the live, share us out if you can, and if you're new to the channel, please show us some support by subscribing. And also the membership is still active for anyone who wants to give extra support to the channel. That will be greatly appreciated as well. Let me just go ahead and welcome those in the chat. Don Mel, Merlin, Molly Olson, Patel Cruikshank, Jeanette Letts, Noreen McLean, Carla Ibanks, Louis Longshaw, Hurricane Hattie, Una Vassal, Beverly, Jonathan Johns, G. Angel. Welcome. Happy Tuesday. Without any delay, I am going to hand over to Baron to start the discussion.
All right. Thank you, honey. And yes, people, tonight we have a fiery panel. Right, we have Melting Pot in studio and Pastor Ricky as usual. So, with the usual thing, we're going to go through the regular meet and greet. Pastor Ricky, right, take the turn in terms of meet and greeting your people.
Yes. Good night again, Sir Byron, Lady Anne-Marie, General Sir Melting Pot. And put them in the pot and it bubble up for trouble. Good night, everyone in the chat. Future watchers, viewers, and that will be watching after we end the live tonight. I just want to say I'm grateful and thankful to being here once again as we continue to hold government accountable for bad governance, corruptions, crimes against humanity, wickedness, and evil. And so we're grateful as we continue to hammer them, beat them to the hammer bend. None of them criminals that will not honor them. Sir Byron, Lady Anne-Marie raising up the bomb of them, and Sir Lloyd, and I'm grateful. Amen. Blessings.
Yes. All right. Thank you for that, Pastor Ricky. All right. Melting Pot, go ahead, meet and greet.
Yes, once again, I just want to greet everyone, in the powerful name of the Almighty. Yeah, I just want to spread the love and the joy and the energy for being here tonight, once again participating with you guys out there, social media land. Yes, I just want to take the pleasure once again to big up our host, Byron and Lady Anne Marie, co-guest, Pastor Ricky. Yeah, enough respect.
All right. Thank you for that. And let me, as it relates to greet the entire listeners home and abroad. Tonight, it's going to be fiery, right? Because we have a whole host of things that we are going to address, right, as it relates to the constant cover-up of SSL. Of course, we are going to delve into that as it relates to the DPP, right? We are going to be dealing with several other issues. So, but before we get into that, right, what I take the time this week to really make some observation as it relates to the People's National Party campaign. And I'm telling you people, believe you me, I think might be the end of this week or next week, we're supposed to be having a Dan Anderson poll, right? And, you know, telling us as it relates to, right, the status of both parties. And without any doubt, I can say that, let me just preempt the Dan Anderson poll, because we are going to see where the People's National Party is picking up momentum. To me, it is so fabulous as it relates to the strategy of Mark Golding, the strategy of the GenSec, right? How they are going house to house and they are getting the people together, right? They are surgically working the constituencies length and breadth. And I'm going to break that down, right, for some of us, right, to see it, right, as it relates to the work that Mark Golding has been doing, right, the strategy implied, right, and trust me, Jamaica people in general, they are galvanizing around Mark Golding, galvanizing around the People's National Party. And let me say this, categorically clear. I don't see that anything that the Jamaica Labour Party can do, right, to win this election. Absolutely nothing. Number one, right, we can't have a prime minister where his statutory declaration, right, cannot be certified for 3 consecutive years. We can't have a prime minister who mix up in SSL, right? And we can't have a prime minister with an administration where you have 8 members, right, under the microscope for illicit enrichment, and where the administration is suppressing the information as it relates to, right, keeping the people oblivious. So you are going to tell me that, okay, when it comes to transparency, when it comes to morals, the prime minister has no shame. Absolutely no shame at all, right, for the prime minister even want to consider, right, to go about and his campaigning as if to say that there is nothing happened, I am not under investigation, the Integrity Commission, they are telling lies on me, and so forth, and there's no money missing, and so forth. The Auditor General, right, I don't know what the Auditor General is talking about when the Auditor General spoke about $3 trillion being missing, and I mean, everyone is just lying on the Prime Minister. But we are going to show the energy. And let me say this. Based on what I have witnessed with the campaign that the People's National Party took off with, I can say clearly that we are now reducing voters' apathy. We are going to see, let me say this right now, we are going to see that these voters turn out for this general election is going to be in the 60s. It is going to be in the 60s. And majority of that, right, will be supporting the People's National Party. People are going to roll out. People are going to come out because enough is enough. Poverty is increasing, inflation is increasing, and we have a kleptocratic government in power. Without any further ado, let me just give some of the energy that is out there speaking to the truth. You know, when you come over here now, one thing, you're going to get the truth. You're going to get the facts. You are going to get the information that is well researched, right? Mystic is not going to put out anything and it is not research. Mystic is not going to put out information that is going to end up expose me to liability. So anything we speak on, we research it. You understand? Facts. And so then we know that, okay, Mystic Sensation is not going to put out certain things and then have to go back and apologize like some people and beg for people not to be sued. You understand? No, Mystic Sensation, we do our research first, right? No propaganda around here, none. All right, without any further delay, let us show the people the energy that is going out there as it relates to the People's National Party doing their thing, right? And getting in touch with the people, right? Moving with the people. All right, CD, Gaten Campbell. All right, let us show the energy that is picking up out there. And people, I feel so proud. I am so happy for the work being done as it relates to what Mark Golden has been doing, right? As it relates to what the GenSec is doing, right? They are moving tight. They are moving and, trust me, they are doing everything that needs to be done. Go ahead and play that clip.
Comrades of Northwest St. Catherine, you have some work to do because you have to wrap up this constituency early and free up Damien so he can go road, go help some other people, because our mission is that we must win this next general elections. So, now hold on. I don't know joke business, I am telling you, as the General Secretary of the party, I don't want your Northwest and murmur, say see and this, because him have to do some work to help some other constituency to cross over the line, because I win, we want to win the election. I realize that the other side nervous, and because them get nervous, them a try a whole heap of things and a bag of things. The other day a man said to me, if me no hear APCA call for me resign from ECJ work, me tell him say me a APCA no size so APCA can call up my name, because Bounty Killer no clash with Tanto Blocks. Now look at you who don't know nothing about this can come run up and get me if you run behind them and follow up them. I have realized that they want to twist everything that is said and turn it how they want to turn it. I am speaking on behalf of farmers in Jamaica, and wherever I go, I'm going to speak on behalf of the local farmers in Jamaica, because we must eat what we grow, and we must grow what we eat, and we must import and export the rest. We have 1,950 hectares of land in agro-parks. Only 30% of it is currently being used. 1,950 hectares of land in the agro-parks, and only 30% of it being used, because they are not interested in the farmers of this country. The agro-parks have been road, it have irrigation, and it have drainage, but they don't care about that, because they have JLP, MP, and their friend import food coming to Jamaica, and they feel like we're afraid to talk. When we take it over, we are going to cut out that, so that the poor man we're planting thing can get for selling thing. I know that they're going to target me when I start talking like this, but I am not afraid. Me back big and me back broad, and I am standing for the poor people of this country, and I will fight for them as long as there's breath in my body.
Don't show your face, Mr. Cat, because them can't stop you.
All right, we can take away that.
Yeah, Lord of mercy.
All right.
Come, Mr. Special Dedication.
Well,
Farmer,
the GenSec, big, bad, and bold.
Real
But
talk.
what the GenSec is speaking about, the GenSec
Real
is
talk.
right.
Yeah.
Right? So the GenSec is saying that the focus of the People's National Party is going to be on agriculture. Right? And rightly so. Right? So as we said, we are going to run through the clips and show the people, right, the energy that is out there for the People's National Party. Without any delay, let us get into the next clip again. Right? Now, we are going into St. Catherine, people. Right? Time come. Let us show the people the energy that is there. Yes, people, look at it. Look at this.
No, I got to the side a while ago and I see a next friend of mine.
No, sir.
I see a general in this People's National Party. When I'm scared of, gonna see on the road them bad. Gonna see how the transport system stay bad. Who do think somebody can save them?
People see
Who do
this?
think somebody can save them? Well, there's a comrade that every time I hear him talk in Parliament about these things that get shaky. And I want to give him the real welcome because I don't think he understands how powerful this constituency is. He comes from way down Manchester and he open us up catching now. He killed,
Here comes the officers asking for a search. The weapon is only a driver.
People, look there. Time come. Time come, people.
Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Jefferson, comrade, are you ready? Hear me on Crawford, comrade. Are you ready? Comrade, I make this to you. The PNP is on a serious mission. And if you are to trade and to hold it after 9 years, what needs to happen is that we need to investigate every cent of the government's money that we spend. You spend more on education and the education system steering us. You spend more on health and the healthcare system steering us. You spend more on infrastructure and potholes and kill us. You build a road out of St. Thomas. You don't even hand it over yet. And they might dig it up again. As Comrade Fix said, we need an inquiry on that one. So I want to know how the money spent and why we are dig up the holes. And we want to know where the money them come from. And who the subcontractors were. And who the consultants were. No questions to be answered. But there is one thing I am sure of. Just like we were in the 70s. And the PMP's mission was to ensure that we have a good Jamaica, a safe Jamaica, and a prosperous Jamaica. That is the mission of this PMP. Because I do.
All right, people, we want to pay attention, you know, the attention that we want you to pay. You hear what the man said, right? That when the People's National Party goes into power, right? Every issues are going to be investigated, right? No stone is going to be left unturned, right? That is not Nigel Clark referencing. When the PNP goes in power, right? Everything is going to be investigated. Now, let me just squeeze in one more clip. As I said, I just want to show the people the campaign energy, right? Now, we could just go a sentence and show the people the sort of energy that is there, the sort of energy that is building up. And let me say this, Jamaican people, don't take it for granted, right? We want every single Jamaican, right, for this election, goes out and prepare to vote, right? Goes out, do everything, right? Don't sit home and relax, right? Vote, vote, vote. If you ask Pastor Ricky is going to tell you the same thing. You ask Melting Pot is going to tell you the same thing. Vote, vote, vote. So we can play the last clip, you know, because after the last clip, you know, beat people, you know. Yes, after the last clip, Mystic Sensation is going to get fiery and beat you, are going to start beat people. So we can play the last clip as it relates to the campaign energy. But I know that the Jamaica Labour Party, them are panic. Right? They are panic and see all sort of misinformation, all sort of disinformation, all sort of lies and so forth. And here what happened. Me glad also some people start to get so last suit. Yes, man, last suit them, man. Right? Make them understand so what up. Honesty and integrity matter. Right? No line lips around here. No line lips around here. So let us play the last clip as it relates to scent and energy without any delay. Let us get into it because we want to get into the beating, you know, you see? You see the warrior them panel tonight? All right. Ready, we are ready, you know. We are ready for them, you know.
Comrades, one and all. Why, I love what I see here tonight. But my heart feel good, man. I remember when Comrade Portia Simpson Miller was here and we see this crowd. And believe you me, I remember saying to everybody, watch you know. It is all about the votes. It is all about the votes. That is what is going to make a difference. And I'm going to say it again tonight. Make certain say, when we go out there, we don't allow the labor rights them to come in and buy we out. Because it happened to we already. We see this crowd already. And them still buy we out. So me as a comrades and everyone out there, make certain say it don't happen again. We get a chance to make certain say we put the PNP into the winning column for Southwest St. Ann. And don't make it happen again. But comrades, I remember calling the GenSec and I said, GenSec, I really have to throw in the towel. But I assure you that if they call an election in 2024, I will stand up for my party. I want to find a very good representative. And I assure you that I will work with that representative. And believe you me, Comrade GenSec, you couldn't find a better representative. I want to give it up with Danishka. When I met this young lady, she have everything going for her. Her beauty, we all acknowledge. But the passion that she has to the people, the commitment that she's given, I can see it in her that she's a genuine person. And I stand here tonight to say that I am working with this lady, and I will be working with her right throughout until she's declared the winner of Southwest St. Anne and put us back into the winning column for the People's National Party. Comrade, it is a pleasure. It is always a pleasure. We walk some streets and we have many more to walk. But for Southwest St. Anne, I assure you that I'm going to find a little place in our office that if you want something we can help, we're going to help her. We're going to work closely with her because Southwest, we need her. We need her. And I want to give her a big hug and I want to call her up now to introduce her to you officially as I pass the baton on to Danishka and say, this is the representative that we have been waiting for. She has everything. She's genuine and she is for the people. Comrade, I wish you well and we'll fight this battle together.
All right.
Love and
Take
hate.
it away. Now let us get serious now. My panel, right? Believe you me, I have all goose pimples taking me over. And you know why? You know why, panel? When we look on 2021 coming up, right, and see where Mark Golden, right, was, trailing in the poll, right, and the poll that Dan Anderson done as it relates to 2021, leading up to 2023, right, the GLP was ahead. And, Mark Golden continued to push on. The GenSec continue to push on, continue to do their chores, house to house, right? Dealing with the people, pointing out the issues. We heard a lot of people said, we never go with time come, right? We heard a lot of people, right, said, that not go nowhere. But here, tonight, today, what we have seen, that the last Dan Anderson poll, as a matter of fact, the last two Dan Anderson poll, showing you that the People's National Party from behind, right, overtaken the Jamaican Labour Party, and now 9% out of the margin of error simply mean we are looking at a landslide. My panel, I have to speak that, trust me, the work that being carried out, right, big up to Nathan Campbell, GenSec, the work that's been carried out as it relates to Mark Golden and the strategy being implied, right, and where social media come into the space of that, right, where social media holding the Jamaican Labour Party as it relates to checks and balance, you understand, and reveal the truth, right, where social media come into the space and illuminate good over evil, righteousness, and highlight the level of corruption in the Jamaican Labour Party, an organization that we can now define as kleptocratic organization, an organization where every single person in there, right, supporting criminality. And it is no doubt because every single person out there, you understand, in the Jamaican Labour Party is defending the administration. So then, they're all in the same boat. Now, Pastor Ricky, what you have to say based on the energy that you have seen and the energy that you have been feeling?
Well, I'm glad you asked. Good night again, everyone. I'm not a Labourite. This is my green screen behind me. I'm a recording artist as well as a pastor, as an author. So I'm in my studio. So I want you to understand that first and foremost. Now, what we're witnessing in Jamaica is a disintegration of the Jamaica Labour Line Party, the criminal organization, the criminal enterprise, money laundering, transnational organized crime party is on the verge of disintegrating. And I believe after this election is called, they will be in the wilderness for about 20 plus years. The people are sick and tired of corruption. The people have so much information now to make an informed decision as a result of social media, because the traditional media, they censor them because they don't want the truth to come out. But thanks be unto God for social media, and also thanks be unto God for the constitutional rights of freedom of speech, that we can declare and tell the truth. The truth is always straight, and when we shoot straight, we telling it like it is. Now sugarcoat nothing, now water down nothing. Now, what we witnesses in Jamaica is the JLP party represents evil, and we represents good. So it's good over evil. It's this honesty over dishonesty. It's righteousness over unrighteousness, and wickedness and evil that is manifest in human rights abuse by the citizens of Jamaica, by their own government. $3 trillion stolen, unaccounted for, missing, chopped, same thing. 8 criminals in the parliament that is under investigation for illicit enrichment, corruption, a criminal prime minister who cannot get a statutory declaration certified by the only anti-corruption agency, and a corrupt justice minister leading an anti-fight against the Integrity Commission to undermine the rule of law that they're standing on and are guided on by their act to hold government accountable. And so when we see the starvation, the hunger, 2 million people in Jamaica go to bed nightly without a proper nutritional meal, according to the United Nations report. When we see that poverty has risen under this criminal enterprise organization, the JLP party government, that they have increased poverty due to the lack of experience in managing a budget. Last year, fiscal year 2023 into 2024, they had a shortfall of $45 billion in the government. This fiscal year 2024 into 2025, they already overspent the budget by $58 billion. They promised to fix all the deplorable roads in Jamaica. They don't have enough money. They sell 12-year receivable from the airport, and out of it, they tried a Ponzi scheme to give back $20,000 in tax rebates or refunds, and they had to halt it because they don't have enough money. They don't have enough money to fix all the roads and bridges and infrastructure. This government, 9 wasted years, has no accomplishment, no institution. They have not built one school, one university, not one hospital. They only thing they did is renovate some police stations. And I just want to say this, with the US aid that is being now cut back, because the government in the United States says they're going to cut back on fraud, waste, and abuse. And they recognize that many countries have been getting US taxpayers funding to do all kind of programs in their country. And now it's exposing this criminal organization in the JLP government, that all the money they have been getting all these years, now people realize in Jamaica that every time they say, we allocate funds, we find money, we spend the most money, they were never telling the people of Jamaica that these money was coming from the United States government. So now that the government decided they're going to cut it off, let's see where they're going to find money from, because them already chopped $3 trillion out of the budget. Them already stolen so much from taxpayers' money and given themselves contracts and their cronies contract. Now they don't have any money. The Jamaica economy is crashing. We're waiting on Staten. We're wondering why Staten is taking so long to release the fourth quarter's numbers, because we know the fourth quarter number is not going to be favorable. It's not going to look good, but I don't know why they're holding it up. And it should have came out like a week or two ago, because as of next week, we're halfway through the first quarter of this fiscal year. So when we see the economy is tanking, crashing, the dollar is now 158 plus. I mean, they spent over $3 million trying to save one Jamaica dollar the other day when it went up to 159, and they brought it down to 156. But now it's depreciate back again, and so the dollar now is 158 plus. And every time the dollar depreciates, it increases cost of living. And then this government also burden the people, as we identify with GCT's general consumption tax, SCT special consumption tax, that Audley Shaw Ministry Paper 17/17 was passed in 2017, that runs concurrent to this day. So the Jamaica, if there's such a thing called the Jamaica dream, like they have the American dream, it's out of reach for millions of people in Jamaica. Housing is out of reach. I mean, you can't even get no money back from NHT that you paid into. Think about it. Now they turn NHT into a bank, a loan. And that was never the intention of Michael Manley, Prime Minister Michael Manley, when he instituted NHT. So Jamaica is in a crisis. Jamaica is at a crossroad. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but dark days are ahead. Hardship days are ahead. Struggles is real in Jamaica. I mean, a loaf of bread is over $700 right now in Jamaica. It's ridiculous how this government mismanaged the economy and has failed miserable. And instead of giving the people prosperity, they have given the people more poverty. Turn it back over to you.
All right, thank you for that, Pastor Ricky. As I said, we are in the campaign role and the campaign mode, right? Melting pot, you have seen where the People's National Party energy is building up, right, as it relates to momentum. We are anticipating also a Anderson poll supposed to come out, right? And we know, right, we guarantee that, of course, it is going to be more momentum for the People's National Party, right? Now, we have seen that the People's National Party has put in all of the work, right, doing all the right thing, right? And as it relates to the GenSec and as it relates to Mark Golden, right, formulating their strategy. And you can see the widespread love that Jamaica is giving to Mark Golden, because it is simple. It's a simple decision between two parties, right? A party that is hell-bent in corruption and a party that is talking about good governance, right? Transparency and honesty, right? And we have seen that Mark Golden, not only that Mark Golden had spoken about transparency and honesty, and people might be saying, Mark Golden only speaking. No, Mark Golden is not only speaking. We have seen evidence. It is evident as it relates to what Mark Golden had done. Many Jamaicans, right, totally not aware that Mark Golden, right, has passed most legislations, work on most legislations, right, in the parliament. No other politician has done that. Mark Golden, right, helped to craft, right, the Integrity Commission Act bill that goes into, right, law 2017, right? Mark Golden did not stop there, right? Mark Golden also worked on the impeachment bill, but we know who stopped it. The corrupted government stopped it. So when you see the energy, when you see, right, the constituencies getting together, energized, right, around Mark Golden, and the people love, the people want a change, the people dying for a change. What say you, Melting Pot, based on the energy that you have seen?
Well, I must say, you know, well said, Pastor Ricky, in your opening comments. And I mean, you know, it is such important that I have to also big up Mark Golden and his hard-working team of men and women.
Yes.
Not only rebuilding People's National Party, but re-energizing the People's National Party supporter base.
Yeah.
Because the work that I have seen has really manifested itself. I'm looking at crowd that, you know, I am mind blown to see the amount of people that is getting the mood and the feeling to vote once again in Jamaica. Because we all know what happened to the political spectrum in Jamaica, where people were, not interested in going out and casting their vote, based on the fact that there was so much to take in that people get so frustrated in voting. But I want to say to everyone, voting is a democratic right, and it is what really, energize a country to go forward when the voters make the right choice. So the work that Mark Walden and the People's National Party members is doing currently must be applauded 150%, because Mark Walden is the only saver for Jamaica right now. The People's National Party is the only saver for Jamaica right now, because under the Jamaica Labour Party for the last 9 years, we have seen nothing but decline in all era, from your social life to even your private life. It get, taken away. We are seeing where the country has lost almost everything to corruption. The face value of Jamaica has been tarnished. The education system has been desecrated. The House of Parliament turned upside down. The policing of the country has gone AWOL. And so we know it's time for change. Because we can't have a society that is, slowly but surely submerging. So Mark Walden, once again, enough respect to the work that you and the party members are doing. And I know that Jamaicans will soon be reaping the benefit of the good work. Special, mention to the GenSec as well. Hard work in campaigning, manager in his own right. I must also big up Damien Crawford, because I know he put a lot of work in it. And, overall, all the members of the People's National Party. Special mention must also go to ISAT for really re-energizing East Portland. And getting the people fully, in tune to the movement of the People's National Party. Because, as I said, we have a lot of work to do, to build back Jamaica. Because Jamaica mash up right now. Jamaica have to get a reset button, build it back. But I want to, highlight something that the GenSec, mentioned as it relates to agriculture. Because the farmer, they really need help in the country, Because Jamaica must be a country that is able to feed its own citizens. Because that's where we were 40 years ago. We could feed ourselves. From the 80s go right up back to Michael Manley time in the 70s. Food was adequate in Jamaica. And so the prices for food was very, very affordable. But when you have scarcity of food supply, then the prices will always go up. So, for us to reduce price on food, especially local provision, we have to make sure that we have something in place to get the farmers out there in the field again. And so when Dr. Jeannette Calder mentioned agriculture, and I tell you, my brother, it really made me feel good in my spirit, because I know we have to use our own resources at our disposal. Yeah, we know we have the backside. Yeah, and we know agriculture is second in line to backside in terms of revenue that can be generated for the country, to build the country. So the farmer must get some attention, and that's what Dr. Jeannette Calder is about to do. So I must big up that initiative. Also, I like what I hear about accountability when this party form the next government, and the level of auditing that will be done to expose the high level of corruption from this current regime and to hold them accountable. and to make the law take its course, because I mean, we all know this regime is a lawless regime, you know. A very, very corrupted regime who have some very high profile people working specifically for them. DPP, one person in particular that we have to make special mention of, because with all these, you know, criminal activity, none such more than SSL, we haven't seen any result coming out of these investigation. You understand? But the investigation has been done by the investigating team that we spent millions of dollars to get to come to Jamaica. The report is sitting on our desk, but she have no interest in dealing with it. So, I mean, we have to just make sure now that we move forward towards getting these matters of priority out of the way, and where we find people, we charge them for the wrongs that them done in the country. So the People's National Party is well on the way to victory. Comrade, I can tell you, there's no doubt the People's National Party is well on the way to victory. That and this poll already put the People's National Party 9 percentage points ahead from the last poll. But I know when we get the new update, we'll be looking at about 27% lead.
Love that.
But we cannot still become complacent when the
Yes.
actual day arrives, when it's time to cast the vote. We have to continue the momentum that has been rebuilt and reshaped and regalvanized by the leader of the People's National Party and the hard-working men and women who are the driving force behind the leader. So we have to go out and make sure we give them that wholehearted support on the day of the general election, because without that,
Yes.
we have a problem, you know. Because we don't want a close run election, you know. We are looking for a landslide victory for the People's National Party, so that there is no opposition to the People's National Party when the time comes to ratify certain changes in Parliament. Because corruption have no place in a Parliament, you know. So the less numbers that we can give to the Jamaica Labour Party will free up corruption in the House of Parliament. Because with what they've done with God knows, they have gone and spent over 18 million just to install a mic system that they can operate so that they can, you know, demoralize the People's National Party, 14-member Parliament. Because what they done to Mark Bowling recently was nothing short of disrespect and disgrace to the Parliament House. Because we see where that guy, Shirai, I'm not going to call him Erai, it's Shirai Clark, turn off the mic and Mark Bowling while he was in the middle of a very, very good debate.
Yeah.
So we want to get rid of these type of flaws politics that we see emerging recently in Jamaica society. And one way to do that is to vote these corrupted elements out of the House of God knows and out of the Jamaica politics. We want to free up politics in Jamaica now. Because politics is not just for the politician, you know. It's for the people and the country. And you can't have these people come and, you know, get your vote and find themselves become member of Parliament and find them way into God knows, and then them start to destroy your life. And then them come back 5 years after and want to buy your vote and buy your vote. Because that is against democracy. And that is against Jamaica Constitution as it relates to our politics. So people now have to free up on the mind from this, you know, handout situation. Don't make anyone come and bribe you. Yeah, don't get frightened over 5,000, not even 10, not even 20,000, because that now have nothing to contribute to your life, you know. Remember, 20,000 can't spend at the supermarket now. So you have to think long term than short term. You have to look to the future. And the future is bright under the People's National Party with Mark Jefferson Golden as the leader and the General Secretary, Dr. Drayton Campbell, as the man who will bring back the farmer into work. Because the farmer need that motivation and they need the incentive, like what we hear the People's National Party is proposing, where we're going to have storage facility. That means when we have, you know, influx of any crop, rather than it go to waste, we can store it and preserve it for future days. And, you know, I know the People's National Party will also be looking overseas market for our farmers, because the local market cannot really, you know, give the farmer the real incentive that they're looking for. Because I remember back in the days, you know, under the People's National Party led by the great leader, you know, Michael Joshua Manley, we have our agricultural market, you know, AMC. You understand? And I mean, farmer never have any problem when them farm, because you could always take your produce to the EMC and you get your little money and you're going back in your community and you feel good in your farm. But now we see some man I issue them friend importation license for things where we supposed to be growing. And what they're doing, they're putting tariff on the farmer's tool and the farmer's thing like fertilizer.
Corruption.
You understand? And that is high level of corruption. So these people cannot come and tell Jamaican people anymore that they care or they have love for them, you know. These people are destructive to Jamaican society. They are the destructive force for 9 years that has almost wiped Jamaica off of the face of the map. So we have to make sure now, so we put a stop to that, and I yield back to the panel.
All right. Well said, Melting Pot. Well said, Pastor Ricky. Right, for the two contributions there. Right. Now, Pastor Ricky, Melting Pot, want to take off on the gloves now, you know. So we are telling people them say, rumor them spreading. And I want to give a warning, you know, in terms of, because we have seen that for the fact that we are in the last year for the general election, because it has to be this year, right? And so then we know that the general election is this year. So whether Andrew Walnut want to sketch it out, go way down to September, October, his business, right, as it relates to the Constitution. But anytime he call it, you know, right, he's going to lose it. Not too worry about that anymore. And the longer he stays to call it, trust me, it gets worse for him. Let me say this, people. It is not like Andrew Walnut, because Andrew Walnut said in Parliament that he has the power to turn it up and turn it down. Well, we are going to make sure, the electorate is going to make sure, under the circumstances of your corruption, right, we have $470 million running through the banking system, right, through various accounts, through 3 entities. No way. And we see the diversion tactics, you know, right? How Big Mama want to spin it. That, okay, what are you accusing the Prime Minister of? Here how they are spinning it. What are you accusing the Prime Minister? And he asks the question, does the Prime Minister charge for anything? No, the Prime Minister doesn't charge for anything. Why the Prime Minister doesn't charge for anything? Eh? Why you ask that question, Big Mama? And then we will tell you why the Prime Minister has not charged, right? And then we have the society stand by and let that happen as it relates to civil society. PSOJ umbrella church of group, umbrella group of church. So this is what we are saying here, right? We know very well that where the Integrity Commission stopped the investigation, right, is where it's supposed to start it. And the question that we asked, the question IC is asking, how did you come by your wealth? It is clear that the Prime Minister, as it relates to his 2020 statutory declaration, right, that he lied to the Integrity Commission when he talked about he have 100 and something million dollars.
72.
$172 million, thanks for the correction. Right? Now, during 2020, what the Prime Minister was running, 470 million. So that wasn't mentioned, you know. That wasn't mentioned. So then when Big Mama is asking, right, does the Prime Minister charge for anything? The Prime Minister is not answering the question. The Prime Minister is not participating or cooperating with the Integrity Commission investigators. This is where we are at tonight. And this Prime Minister is asking the Jamaican people to put him back in power. A kleptocratic government is asking the Jamaican people, the electorate, to put them back in power. Right? Where you want to muzzle the Integrity Commission so no one cannot know who the 8 involved. And yet, these are the 8 people that Andrew Holness wanted to represent you when they are pilfering from the treasury. Pilfering from the treasury and a host of evil that they are doing. Right? And you are telling Jamaican people to... So all the destruction that Big Mama come up with and all the Lawrence Rowe issue that he's talking about. Let me tell you something, Jamaica. Be smart. Big Mama is utilizing what you call a distraction tactics so that we are not to discuss issues like these. Right? The fundamental issues that is going to take the Prime Minister throughout right the rest of time before we call general election is your statutory declaration cannot be certified. Number one, it shouldn't be running. Honestly, it shouldn't be running. If it was if we are talking about right a real democratic country, we are talking about respectfully law and order, right, and no biasness, the Prime Minister shouldn't be running. The Prime Minister would have stepped aside. The Prime Minister is the subject of an investigation. Look at what I'm saying, people. Let me speak to Jamaican people. The Prime Minister is a subject of an investigation, and the Prime Minister still stands in the way of intercepting, right, blocking, preventing, and do all of his, trust me. And then you have some people who are spinning it. And the reason why they are spinning it because they are also involved eating out of the trough. Some of them owe the government revenues. The abundance of tax dollars that they owed. Right? And they want to continue, you understand, to commit, right, the criminal offense. Right? Paying their taxes. They are collecting money from their employees and not paying them over to the relevant authority. You have seen people who know much better. They go on the platform, they accuse Mark Golding, they accuse Nathan Campbell. No, let me tell you something. When you are going to accuse somebody of misappropriate funds, right, from the KSMLC, right, to support campaign, and you know it is a lie. You know it's a genuine lie. I am wondering on what basis why you have to come out and say that. But people, watch the drift now. People watch the drift. Without any delay, let us get it because I beat you to start beat some people right now. Watch the drift. Let us get into it. So, Pastor Ricky, take off the gloves, you know. Right?
Yeah.
Melting pot, take off the gloves because we're going to deal with some people right now.
Yeah, man, the gloves off long time, man.
All right.
Ready for them.
I could deal with it now. All right. Go on, because we don't play now. We don't play around here. We want them.
I want to say to you this evening that I'm here to tell you three things. The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God. We see them over the other side a scramble. Them say them can't settle one safe constituency because them don't want a certain man get vexed. Well, we want to tell them from here in Stewart Town in St. Mary that we have all 63 candidates in place and we are ready for them. Hey, who do you think you get where? Who do you think them get where? This year, and we are them this year. He can run, but him can't hide. Him have to call the election this year, and when him call it, him gonna get a beating. Him must get a beating. Him has to get a beating. Because the Integrity Commission certify his declaration and Finance money can't get no certification. They are trying to attack him because Don Anderson said the people them done with bro God as a step up market G because of your time now. They are trying to attack him because Mark Golding make sure that all in parliamentarians sign the code of conduct, was them over the other side. I said them I tell MPs, nothing make them family members submit nothing. We are not the same. We and them green people that are not the same thing. We are not the same. The People's National Party would not be rich and Jamaica poor. Jamaica poor but Labour Party rich. We are not the same. Hey, follow me. Come follow me now. We are not the same. Because the PNP no push poor people off a land, but Labour right that bulldozer are gonna mash up poor people's house. We are not the same. We are not the same because the PNP not import ganja come to Jamaica because we have some of the best ganja right here so in Jamaica. The PNP decriminalized marijuana. We are not the same because the PNP not import ice coming to Jamaica. We build local industries. You know, I came here. You know, say me come here this evening and say me not gonna behave myself.
Okay, I'm going to stop this here.
You know, take nothing for me walk in a room and start a fire, you know. But I came here this evening and I said I was going to behave myself. But I realized a little thing was going. They are trying to turn off the public from the politics. They want the people to believe that no better head, no better barrel, whatever, no better head, no better barrel. They want things say the whole of we are the same thing. But we and labor rights are not the same.
All right.
No. We are not the same because the PNP had a road maintenance fund in place. And when I was MP and other MPs on the platform can tell you that once or twice per year, NWA would have...
Okay, so people, let me say this. That's where we are going now, you know. We are going into the seriousness of certain situation and where people need to do their research before they come out and speak. And so then, we are going to show you how, right, we get serious with people who spread propaganda. And we're going to have, right, the belt, take out the belt from now on. So, we make example out of one of them, you know. But we are going to make example out of more of them. More to come. Because we still have some of them, you know, still making serious errors, right? Serious propaganda. Because of course I'm confused. I'm confused with the system. So without any delay, right? Let us deal with the situation at hand, right? And play this in terms of what we are getting to.
Shots fire over one station and them tell lie. Say me make it happen. Now them a come tell lie about me misallocate money. I don't work a parish council. I don't have no standing for instruct no parish council. So I can misappropriate anything. And any boy or girl will say so. Me and them are going courthouse started with Mr. Vegas. My hands were steady. Let me begin at home with the politics at home. And that issue of allegations being made that the opposition People's National Party have somehow been benefiting using public money from the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation for political campaigning in the run-up to last year's by-elections. And those allegations have been fueled by the former PNP constituency caretaker for Central Kingston, Lawrence Rowe, who was booted by the party last month. And he has been making the allegation backed by voice notes.
Yeah, send him outside. Send him outside.
Oh, my Jamaican people.
Despicable.
I am not going to make him go any further. I mean, the entire world knows that Big Mama has no credibility. No credibility. None whatsoever. Now, just imagine people, right? The situation as far as it is, that Big Mama find time to discuss trivialities. And yet we have serious situation with the Prime Minister. You know? Serious situation with the Prime Minister. When we look at the situation with the Prime Minister, where you have 143,000 US dollars being taken from SSL into an account in NCB that the Prime Minister, right, used $0 to take out that account. So even the bank is facilitating the Prime Minister of money laundering. So then if you don't know that is money laundering, let me confuse. That is money laundering. Right? $0. $0. And we are 143,000 US dollars from SSL. right, goes into that account. Right? $470 million, $470 million that the Prime Minister of Jamaica cannot say categorically how he came by his wealth. And here is Cliff Hughes. Here is Cliff Hughes. But the man who started the rumor, we have him going down on his knees. You know? Yes, people, the man who started the rumor, we have him going down on his knees. And I am telling Dr. Debunking that in spite of him going down on his knees, don't ease up the gas pedal.
No.
Military Debunking accelerate.
Press.
What military Debunking to do? Accelerate. Press on later. Press on, because guess what? We have to make an example.
Definitely.
We have to tell them that before them come out. Go and research. Before you come out, plan to make sure you're speaking the truth. Before you come out, make sure you have your source to back up your evidence. And yet you come out loosely and you spoke loosely and now you don't have no source. So to the fact that you don't have no source, let me pray and show what is going on here. Let us lift up this clip on it. You don't have no source. You did not do your investigation. I'm not telling you, you did not do your investigation. You run come out to the people them name. They mix up the people them in corruption and lie. Right? Because that's all you know. Lie and corruption.
So Mr. Vegas come here because me not understand. You mean if you tell me say all these months you have chastised the PNP and you have been saying all kind of things about the General Secretary. You mean to tell me say everything boils down to a lie? I want to know how the Jamaica Labour Party feel this afternoon. How the supporters of the Jamaica Labour Party feel if see Mr. Vegas come out and publicly apologize to the General Secretary of the People's National Party. Look at Jamaica. I would like to apologize publicly to Dr. Dayton Campbell for any unflattering remarks I have made about him at any time. I confirm that I do not have any information or fact about any improper behavior or regarding Mr. Campbell. Therefore, I apologize for any such allegations that have been made. My God. Can you imagine? What a shame and disgrace from the Jamaica Labour Party.
What a shame and disgrace from the Jamaica Labour Party. Now the man run out. If you didn't know to back him up and I sue them and I help spread the propaganda. But Mr. when the fire take him, yes, him run out and say him have no facts. You only have wolf. You don't have no facts. You only have wolf. And remember, we don't deal with wolf, you know?
No.
Right? So then, melting pot. Me, I'm killing him, you know.
Well,
because him run off melting pot. Say no have no facts. He only have wolf. Talk to him, melting pot.
Yeah, man, me have to beat him, man, because the work where him take up on a film profession that, you know. So, you know, it's a man like this now. Him know him can't swim, but him going to chuck off in a deep water. You see what I say? And him find himself now out there on him own and begging for help. You understand? But this is the result of when people like to do tabloid. And tabloid now have no space in a social media when you deal with politics and people, reputation. You can't do tabloid. You have to have your thing well factual in front of you And when you come in at the space and you open your mouth, a good source come from your mouth, not garbage. Like where I come out of that a piece of shit them out. But him align himself around some and you know, found the set of people, you know. Nobody know rate them people, you know, Big Mama, yeah, the GLP. You understand? We all know them are not credible people to be associated with. Because when you have a prime minister, you know, where find himself, you know, in a predicament with the Integrity Commission and start dodge the Integrity Commission bullet, you know. Yeah, a man with in statutory declaration cannot be certified for 3 consecutive fiscal years. And we're at the end of this one year now to make it number 4. Then you have people now, you know, who are there trying to lend support to this prime minister who we know is very, very corrupt and dishonest. And what them do? Them find themselves in a hot water with other people. It's like a man, you know, I put on a shirt that can't fit him. And all him I try to put it on, him can't see the shirt can't fit him. He let go the shirt. So, Big Mama is a spin doctor. Big Mama is an entire choir for Andrew Wallace. Sing very loud. Yeah. And what Big Mama don't know, Big Mama sub out the choir now to some people to sing, help him sing. Because Big Mama lose him voice from him tax evasion and him tax dodging red thing where I carry out, you know.
From the eagle fly.
Yeah.
From the eagle fly.
From the eagle fly, man. Big Mama voice card gone, you know. So Big Mama use fish headless. He might use Vegas. He might use some little people where them now carry no water. You understand? Yeah. Them can't carry water. See a Big Mama. So Big Mama they on the moon right now because everybody had Vegas denounced himself now, you know. So I want less crony around Big Mama, you know. Because the whole of the kingdom and the dynasty where them create are crumble around them. You understand? Because remember, you know, Big Mama take people statutory deduction out of them salary, you know, and sit down upon it, you know. Now turn it into the relative tax collectors, you know. Big Mama owe Jamaica tax to the tune of what? 1.2 billion.
Yes.
And this now is a headache for Big Mama. So it's a result of the criminal administration why even Big Mama have to find himself here. So wait a minute. Because Andrew Wallace, you know, is a man like this, you know. When him come and assemble a team around him, you know, is a team of unprofessional and unqualified people him always assemble, you know. So you get them type of tabloids that come from them. Yeah? They might jump on something, well, it not concern them.
Exactly.
The situation with Lauren Lowe, that shouldn't have nothing to do with Big Mama, you know. Because that is an internal affair within the People's National Party. And the People's National Party have their own integrity committee. And it have a leader. It don't need Big Mama. But Big Mama now live to come out with some propaganda thing now to cause some form of distraction. Because at the time when Big Mama run out with this, you know, I beat Big Mama about the tax evasion and the tax dodging where my boy in Jamaica, you know. And him couldn't take that heat there. So I have to find something now to start to put a distraction. But Big Mama, will tell you this, it's a Titan and who are working in that space, yeah. We can't do all 10 shows a day. So your destruction can't stop no topic where we have. We'll make sure we add more show if that you want.
Definitely.
Yeah. Because everything has to be mentioned in regard to the corruption we are going in Jamaica. It is no secret Even the outside world know how corrupted the Prime Minister is. Everybody know about him statutory declaration. You understand? And them know about the SSL saga. And them know about everything we are going in Jamaica.
Yes.
Yeah? Because one time people used to say Jamaica is no problem. Jamaica a big problem right now. So people with interest in a Jamaica who are very patriotic and who are non-partisan will highlight the problem in Jamaica. Because we are speaking from a platform, that is there to fix Jamaica. We have to fix Jamaica. We cannot allow the little 5% to have Jamaica wrapping around them finger like it belongs to them and pilfering the taxpayers' funds.
True.
And damaging all infrastructure in the country, selling out the country to foreign investors, keeping the people them down in a hole. We can't allow that. So Big Mama, you now have to go pay your tax and come and put out the receipt, make you know where I'm going. So you pay off your tax. And all the cronies that we are run behind this regime, be careful because last week to reach you if you don't come out and tell the truth, Nobody not ramp with them again.
Want them.
Nobody's playing with them again. Last suit I go reach, All
right.
So the propaganda trade won't ride pan, Be careful. Because it seems like all the interest won't have is to destroy Jamaica further than where Andrew will destroy it already. So we not gonna allow that. I'm not gonna find yourself in a serious hot water. Be careful of what I do. Social media not for everybody to talk politics, It's only who can relate to politics and research the facts in our politics must come to them space here. When a man is an artist, I'm supposed to go up on film stage, go perform. Me don't know people want to leave them good career and jump in politics and a chat garbage. If you are coming to politics, come do something good for the upliftment of your country. But if you want to sink the country, you're self-centered, and you can't be a self-centered citizen of Jamaica and we know about you and want to beat you, We are going to beat you bad with the hammer till the hammer broke up. You understand? Yeah, but that we have to do it, So we want everybody who thinks, well, then them can come and make unfounded statement about people in authority. Be careful on them out. Watch on them out when I come out on them out. Leave Big Mama and him nasty life alone. Leave Andrew Wallace to face him time in front of the Integrity Commission and the judge. Because Andrew Wallace don't care about none of them, All who not run behind Andrew have in sight, It's like my mother used to tell me, say, out of sight, out of mind. Andrew not have in sight, so none of them in mind. When just enough up on yourself and of course havoc on yourself. Leave politics business alone because you don't know about politics to come chat politics. So if you don't feel like say partisanism can come and relate in the space of politics, no, you're not going to be one-sided. You don't have to have the facts. The people need the facts. So just be aware of yourself out there. This is a warning. This is a warning. And you must heed the warning. Corruption, and not something you want to forget to yourself involved in that. Because corruption don't build a nation, it destroys a nation. Andrew Wallace, everybody know about him 473 million. That is no secret. That is in document. You understand? As it relates to my account.
Melting pot, hold it, because we have a call on the line, and sometimes you don't want they are using their credit, and we don't want them hold up too long. So we could just hear what Sister Pot is saying. Sister Pot, you're on. Go ahead, Sister Pot.
Good night.
Blessings.
Breaking news.
Yeah?
It's alleged.
Yes.
It's alleged. And then St. James individual where Dr. Andrea Nagorome Malam Bubu there.
Yes.
Malam Bubu called me with 176 was a worker 49 turn up. What I 49, 25 vote for.
What?
Yes, 176 46 work I supposed to have. So I'm calling out of that the amount 49 turn up. Out of the 49, 25 vote for you stay. Then now behind him back or strong I put Dido that are the minor the second mayor or deputy mayor taking seat. Then now in Italy, Zenka Bruce Golden to go back. I forget Carl some other seat. So a big nose man tell no one Delano Franklin, Delano Steve writing so I him a go fish round now. Orange Shanks no want to run back at St. James.
What?
It's alleged. Yes, be a banger and go on. Then Clovis Nelson now you want when go America attack about one Jamaica this that him a look see one man boy when he newbie in 2020 with him for foolishness and the only same no want him so I pay a banger out there. Banger and I never party them boot on Malabu.
Can you hear that?
Yeah, man.
What? Well, this is a shocking news.
Well, you know.
Because even Beat and Teach in that chat said 225 workers and only 49 vote for her. Right? So
Turn up at the meeting.
49, turn up, 25.
okay, 49 turn. Whoa!
49 people come my meeting. What I 49 at 25 alone. Vote for him.
Okay.
No. Orange stand now. I'm going to put the Dido. The second command mayor. The second mayor. The man to go be in a free space.
What a banger on this.
Yeah, so him, so she don't look to go back some would place at all. So he call Bruce Goldie, he said, let Jala me say that I put the pal boat. But through the your program, you know, hear me, I give it slow down. So he call Bruce Goldie, must if you can help him to go back as some would say. Because big nose, everyone want the land of sit right. So if you tell us, say more banger and banger out there. When God work in a mysterious way, His wonders to perform. The same message you when they say, don't have no this, and you don't have no that, you have them on their heel, on their toe, they can't sleep, they can't eat.
All right.
Clicks in everybody, hands are bite them, crocodile are bite them, the swamp are down on their yard.
God damn good road.
That is it.
All right. Bless up yourself. Bless up yourself, Sister on here. Right? Thanks for the info, Sister P.
Yeah, I heard about that at around 4 o'clock this evening.
Yeah, the problem all over, you know. You understand? They're done with the Jamaica Labour Party, you know.
Man.
We are anticipating the Dan and the support to come out. So Melton Pat, more you finish up the conversation.
Yeah, I'm going to finish up now. But, you know, the breaking news, it's not surprising me, you know, because nobody can stomach Malawood mattress, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah? Nobody can stomach she and the corruption where she a lead. You understand? So she there for go. But it's a result of the work with my Golden and my hard-working team put in. At the call, I set up them on them heels and them toes. Right. Because Jamaican realize the corruption can't be the way for them to live good in that. No. So everybody are run from corruption now, you know. It mashed them up bad. You understand? Exactly. So that we see all them them, you know, in a problem now. And everything crumble around them, you know. Yeah. So I leave it now. Pastor Ricky can come in hard for him thing.
Yeah, thank you. Well said.
Yes.
I heard about that today at 4 o'clock, but I didn't really pay no attention because no JLP seat is safe. Not even the
None.
criminal prime minister in an Olympic garden. Not even FEME seat safe because of the
Pastor Ricky, I must
deplorable.
tell him so we want Tivoli Garden, you know.
Yeah, not even Desmond McKenzie seat safe. I mean, so many deplorable roads, high cost of living, taxes, indirect taxes. I mean, people, low wages, 15,000 a week, which is a single mother with 2 or 3 kids is struggling from that. It's sad what's going on. They create poverty. The orange wave that you see saturated all of Jamaica, Cornwall, Middlesex, sorry. Listen, back to Montague, which is one of the illicit 8. When him come out and say, Comrade Leader Mark Golden, a preke and is a beaten stick, his incompetency didn't make him come to the realization that you're dealing with a man who was a corporate lawyer. You're dealing with a man who was a brilliant banker. You're dealing with a man who was a successful businessman before he entered politics. You're dealing with a man who was a real estate guru. You're dealing with a man who was a powerful justice minister in the Portia Simpson Miller administration. Comrade Leader Mark Golden and Unjust come. Big up yourself, Comrade Leader Golden. We salute you. Gensec salute you. All of the People's National Party team members. Because remember, as we said in the opening statement, Comrade Leader Mark Golden, when he accepted party leadership, he was down in the polls and it looked like the criminal prime minister party are going to run with this thing. So in 2022, when, big up yourself again, Gensec, Dr. Dayton Campbell and them rally a team together and say, listen, we're going to introduce Comrade Leader Mark Golden to the whole entire Jamaica, all 14 parishes, constituents, 2 constituents. And so we see the Comrade Leader going out in different divisions and constituencies leading up to the general election last year. I mean, February, the local government election, last February. And so by that time, the people were connecting to him. And so they started to have a feel that this man is different. He's different from what we have right now. And so it spilled into the rest of last year. And Comrade Leader Mark Golden, big respect. Hey, I can't forget. One of the most powerful speech we hear Comrade Leader Mark Golden said. And I will never forget. And I rank it number 3 in the all-time listers of speech that I've heard, behind JFK says, ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. And Dr. King, who I have a dream speech. But I said the speech that Comrade Leader Mark Golden gave in 2023 at the national conference, when he come out and says, a corrupt government cannot liberate the people from corruption. If the head of the stream is dirty, then the whole entire stream will also be corrupted. I one of the most wickedest speech me hear, and it resonated throughout the whole of Jamaica. That's everybody starts saying the criminal prime minister is corrupt, and then to add to it, what I say, a dishonest government cannot tell the people the truth, because if the head of the government is dishonest, then the whole entire government is dishonest. So Comrade Leader Mark Golden came from 13 points down in the poll, and a big swing by rebranding him, reintroducing him, because he's serving Mama P administration back in 2012. And so reintroducing him back now as the party leader, and the message against corruption. Hey, it's a corruption. Him hammer. Go back, go look on him tape them from 2023 to 2024. I hear him hammer the prime minister upon corruption, and that damaged the criminal prime minister and wounded him. So it propelled Comrade Leader Mark Golden from being 13 points down. He's now 9 points ahead with Don Anderson poll, as you said, Sir Byron, coming out next week. Is going to propel him even further. Then Don Anderson released a poll that says 58% of the people said that the country is going in the wrong direction. And Don Anderson released another poll that says 66% of the people, that's almost 7 in 10 Jamaicans, says that corruption is higher in the last 5 years in this criminal organization called the Jamaica Labour Party. So the sentiments and the trajectory of change has been in the air since Comrade Leader Mark Golden was able to come on the scene and start visiting parish to parish, constituents to constituent. But let me just leave that alone and jump to the what Melting Pot leave off for. I call him the reject because him get reject out of dancehall. In a war with red mice them, in a war with killer them, in a war with so much artists in a dancehall that them a victim from dancehall. Then him go after a youth named Ansem, and I claims that the youth is a pedophile. I have no idea, but words in the street is that the reject and the man when I go after the same. Don't know, that's what I heard. Then him got join himself as a wolf, going to church in a sheep clothing, and Pastor Jenkins discern it and recognize he's a wolf in sheep clothing and usher him out of church. So him get rejected from dance, him get rejected from church. Then him go on Rick Storm them live. Is a youth to do a lot of social media about dancehall and them. Him dep on the live them and cuss people, tell them say them fully done and them reject him. So a wanderer and a vagabond like Cain in the Bible after him slew him brother Abel becomes a wanderer and a vagabond with no where to call his home. So I'm just a wander now, but because him a real estate property close to lease flat, him got join himself to a criminal organization because him a seek relevance, and so him pick up blogging for a criminal entity. But the blogging way I do, him can't substantiate any proof against what we are saying because we have the truth, and like we said, the truth is straight. The lies go this way, you know. So him get thrown out in a predicament where him devalue himself and lower his standard as someone who was supposed to be a great dancehall artist, find himself like the prodigal son in a pigsty eating up food from where him should not eat from. He might eat from table where him not for eat from like the prodigal son. So now him get discredit big time. So now every blogger on for them side must realize that if you don't have the truth, if you don't have the facts, be careful what you say. And it goes to all of them on the JLP side. We study, we do research, we have video evidence, document evidence, we have the facts, so we can talk boldly without any resistance and state what the truth is. But them can't do that because they cannot defend corruption. So him find himself where it's discredit now. So, but Sir Byron, I don't know, he might have run off come to Canada, come dwell in the cause. He need a dwelling place now because I don't think Big Mama will associate himself anymore with this criminal. But listen, one last point. I agree with Dr. Dayton Campbell. Big Mama and the criminal prime minister, the tactics they're using other than distraction is called voter suppression. That's a tactics that politicians use in America. Voter suppression. What do I mean by that? They turn off the voters with all type of lies, deceptions, propaganda to make the voters believe that both parties are the same. None of the party of them is not different from each other. So people get turned off and say, well, I'm not going to vote, me I stay home. That's the strategy that they're using right now. Voter suppression to make the people feel like both parties are the same. But I just want to remind people, if I can get one more minute, the two parties are not the same. The People's National Party has never had a criminal for a prime minister who's under investigation for illicit enrichment. The People's National Party never had a criminal for a prime minister that is before the court right now, and his wife also is before the court for breaches of the law, breaches of building permits, and his breaches. You can see it outlined in the IC report. The People's National Party has never had a criminal prime minister who has 28 bank accounts. And we know it's more than 28, but just use what the IC say for now. That implicated his mother. We never have a prime minister that implicated his mother in money laundering, implicated his father in money laundering, implicated his children in money laundering, implicated his sister in money laundering, and implicated his sidekicks, his friends, his business partners in money laundering. We have never had a criminal prime minister that took a body that investigate corruption to court, to have the judge force them to exonerate them, to certify their statutory declaration, and to strike down the anti-corruption law, which is, the corruption law, which is section 14 subsection 5 of the Corruption Act. So both parties are not the same. We have never had in the People's National Party 8 criminals in the parliament that's under investigation for illicit enrichment. So what they're doing is trying to play, drop, drip here, and try to paint picture using Lauren law and other situation to try to link we and them, but we're not the same. As Jen Sex said, we have never bulldozed down nobody house. We have never taken no land property from nobody, and we have never done anything and sent out police for violate breaches of human rights in the Constitution and crimes against humanity. And we have never said this party that we're seeing right now as violate constitutional laws, even the tenor of the DPP, to try to force her to continue on in a second extension when she did not deserve it. So it's very clear. I can go on, but for the sake of time, I'm gonna stop right there. Both parties are not the same. Back over to you.
Okay, thank you for that. We are now going to dive into the art of the corruption, right? And we just want to show the Jamaican people, right, as it relates to the systemic corruption, right, as it relates to Andrew Holness administration. It's a kleptocratic government, not to worry about it. And when we speak, right, we are speaking the living facts, right? And undisputed, right? Now, I want people to look at this, right, before we get into the fire, because we are going to touch the fire. Now, I am going to bring up this information from the Jamaica Gleaner. Prime Minister business partner Norman Brown dropped case against IC. Now, my people, obviously, right, he knows that he will be a laughing stock.
Yep.
Right? And to the fact that he knows very well that things are going to reveal, right? Yes, he back out. Right? He back out to the fact that there's certain information that he doesn't want to give. So again, him backing out. Him backing out is telling you the level of corruption. Now let us read, people. Prime Minister business partner Norman Brown drops case against IC. Now even the few words, right, that start this headline show you this is corruption. Because the Prime Minister, right, shouldn't have his business partner putting his business partner in certain position. That is conflict of interest. Conflict of interest in any, civil democratic country. Even the few words here, people, Prime Minister business partner Norman Brown drop case against the IC. And the Prime Minister take his business partner, right? And put him into position, which is totally a conflict of interest. Norman Brown, business partner of Prime Minister Andrew Holness, has withdrawn his case against the integrity. Everything with Andrew Holness, is corruption, even the doctor. A corruption doctor, You understand? Because did he get the doctorate, right, in the way, he's supposed to pursue it? No.
Exactly.
Corruption again. Everything that aligned with Andrew Holness is corruption, right? So you have Norman Brown has withdrawn his case against the Integrity Commission, citing a wish to protect his reputation amid the intense media scrutiny, right, the matter has generated. Now, people, take it away. Now, based on what he said, he dropped the case to protect his reputation. Now, if you want to protect your reputation, and you have any reputation at all, right? Why not go to the court and speak the truth? This is the matter of people. To the fact that he lacks the ability to speak the truth. Or he doesn't want to speak the truth because the truth is corrupted. So then, he wants to protect himself from being exposed.
Exactly.
So when we can read between the lines, he wanted to protect himself from being exposed. And so then now him can just get off because he's not there, right, where certain question is going to ask of him and where certain situation is going to expose others. Not only him alone, him
Right.
and others.
Right.
Will be exposed. So I know, right? Him take for himself. Might be the Prime Minister advise him, say, take for yourself. You understand what I said? No, the Prime Minister advise him, take for yourself, and then take for himself. Because what is he going to go to the court and speak about? When you have evidence. Evidence.
Right.
So it should show you the level of systemic corruption in the Jamaican Labour Party. Now we can juggle along as some people. Now without any delay, let us put up. Now people, I want to show you as it relates to, yes, the evil of this money. So barefaced, the barefaced money and in corruption. Why you listen to him? How barefaced he is. Right? Okay. So this is what? This is the leader in Parliament talking about what Chuck said about Andrew. Okay. Let us highlight some systemic corruption here. Now watch this, people. We highlight the systemic corruption before we get into, you understand, the meat of the matter here.
Talk and you use my words. I just want to remind you about the campaign when Andrew Holness was challenged for leadership and the scurrilous accusations which were made against him. And I want to remind you in particular that Minister Delroy Chuck, who now twists himself in a pretzel over the Integrity Commission to the point where people are saying, is everything okay with Minister Chuck? Who said that Andrew should resign because after the court ruling, he said he was not fit to lead the Jamaican Labour Party. What can go so? So we have come such full circle in the protection of the leader. The leader has not been certified. From all accounts, there are matters which are concerning and it cannot be certified. And none of you find a problem with that? is not one of us, is not just a senator, is not just a parliamentarian, is a person who sets the moral compass for the entire country. And on top of it, he goes to the court to ask the court to declare a bill which was passed by this government of Jamaica in 2017, piloted by Minister Delroy Chuck, who now criticizes every clause as though he has never read it. The Prime Minister goes to the court to ask the court to declare it unconstitutional. It is amazing that the double standards are so glaring to the public that they see that parliamentarians will do everything to protect themselves. And if the law don't suit them, then just simply go to court or change it. The people deserve more. The people deserve better. And that is why they have asked for impeachment provisions, because they want a say.
Stop it, people. Now, I am going to speak something, right? Because we are going to go down into the bottom of SSL. And we're going to reveal some things tonight. We are going to reveal some things tonight. Let me say this. My Jamaica people, if we had gotten a solid criminal justice system as it relates to solid investigators, right? And DPP who ensure that the fight against corruption. It is the hypocrisy within the system as it relates to the investigators, right? For respective areas within the Jamaica Constabulary Force, right, as it relates to MOCA, right, and other entities that's supposed to investigate. You know what I'm looking at, people? If Andrew Ones, let me say this, if Andrew Ones was stopped and serious investigation carried through and charges pursued, charges followed as it relates to the timeline 2007 to 2009 as it relates to the Contractor General investigation at the time, right? If Andrew Ones was stopped, Jamaica, Mystic Sensation is saying this to you, you wouldn't have SSL.
True.
SSL wouldn't have happened.
True.
If Andrew Ones was stopped, and I'm going to show you documentation. If Andrew Ones, if the system, if the criminal justice system did have a sharp teeth, if it was a truthful democracy, and if the system were able to stop Andrew Ones, then we wouldn't have SSL. And what I'm going to present tonight, you're going to see clearly in terms of what I'm saying, that we wouldn't have SSL if Andrew Ones was stopped from there. Now, let us get into the SSL saga here, right? Now, let us bring up the SSL saga here, the update on SSL. We are going to get into it tonight.
So it was just over 2 years ago in January 2023 that the Gleaner broke the story that Jamaica's track legend Usain Bolt was one of over 20 customers of a company called Stocks and Securities Limited, SSL, who had been robbed as part of this elaborate fraudulent scheme that at the time we were hearing amounted to over $1 billion Jamaican dollars. Since then, everybody has been asking, what's going on? What's up with the investigation? Is the matter going to be coming to trial? Where is Bolt's money? Just the other day, I spoke with Director of Public Prosecutions, Paula Llewellyn, to get an update on what's happening with the criminal case. I'm going to be bringing you up to date on that. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm Dion Jackson Miller. Time for tea. So this was big news, all right? And I'm sure a lot of you were aware of or probably following the story. The Gleaner called it a massive fraud and one of the largest heists in Jamaica's financial sector. And really and truly, this is documentary level stuff. And maybe one day you'll see a documentary about it on my channel. What do you think? Interested in that? Let me know below, all right? So the question is, what's been happening in the 2 years since this story broke, right? Where are we now? And what's happened to the money from Usain Bolt and the other investors? So first of all, some people have seen complaints from some people in terms of how this story has been reported. You know, I'm seeing comments like, so it's only Bolt get robbed and why we're focusing so much on Bolt and what to the other people them in a case. So let me say this. Now, first of all, this whole thing is horrible, right? I cannot even imagine the kind of distress people are suffering. And some of the people involved in this are elderly people who don't have time to recoup whatever it is they've lost. So that in itself is just tragic, all right? And the amount of money stolen here over a period of time, over about a decade we're hearing, and the number of people affected, yes, all of that makes the story big news. But the fact that Bolt has been involved now puts the story into a whole different stratosphere, people. Come on, we're talking about Usain Bolt, king of track and field, world record holder, and one of the most likable people in track and field. Everybody like Usain. Even now that he's retired, people still want to know what Bolt is up to, you know, what's happening with his business ventures, his music, you know, remember when him did decide to play football, what's happening with his babies, his families. Somebody like Bolt, people are just following everything that happens to him. If a button drop in a world championship relay, all Bolt have to do a post JAMPJA, and everybody at all, boy, you see what Bolt say. He just continues to be very, very influential. Anyway, the point I'm making is that when you have somebody who is very well known, not just here in Jamaica, but all around the world, the story gets bigger and the reporting does tend to be focused on that person. In this case, Usain Bolt. So this story blew up from the start the way it did because Bolt was involved, and trust me, that's a good thing, right? It means the story was being covered all around the world. It means the authorities were under pressure to make sure something happened. And it means, of course, that the media wouldn't forget the story. So just about a month after the story first broke, so this was in February 2023, remember, we heard somebody had been charged. This somebody was Jeannette Calder, who was one of SSL's investment advisors. What the Financial Investigation Division told us at the time, they said they had a joint investigation going with the police fraud squad. They said Panton had been charged with breaches of the Larceny Act, the Proceeds of Crime Act, the Forgery Act, and the Cyber Crimes Act. So she had allegedly signed a confession, and she said she used various mechanisms to take money from clients, that she created false statements because people are getting statements, remember, that said the money was in their account and growing. And those statements were false. Now, the FID, Financial Investigation Division, said at the time that this was a really complex case. And they said it was complex because of the number of accounts, the types of accounts, the number and types of transactions, the fact that this had been going on for over a decade. Then now in December 2023, we got another update from the Financial Investigation Division. Again, they said the complexity of the investigation can't be understated. They said they were investigating matters going right back to the inception, the start of SSL in 2006. And at the time, they said the evidence was showing that over 200 accounts had been affected, and that what they called a staggering amount exceeding $30 million had been defrauded, right? Now, Bolt alone is reported to have lost $12 million. And that, folks, is over $1 billion Jamaican, if my calculations are right. So let me tell you what we know right now. Because people have been asking, hold on, can't she want to do this? Does she want to keep so much money? Nobody else not involved. What is going to be happening? And I spoke to former Finance Minister, Dr. Nigel Clark, in October 2024, his very last day in office as Finance Minister. And I asked him about the SSL thing because, finance is his ministry and so on. And this is what he said. He said, what I've not been satisfied with is the pace at which that has moved. He said, we have investigators, police, a DPP, courts. All of those are independent authorities. I can't instruct. He said this is not a criticism, but he said he had one opportunity to pour out his heart. He said, I feel hurt and disappointed that I put that effort in. I've taken major risk in getting forensic auditors from the United Kingdom to do a massive investigation. And he said that file had been put to the DPP from late 2023. Nothing has come of it, and people are looking and wondering what's going on. He said, I've done my part. So a few days ago, folks, I caught up with Director of Public Prosecutions, Paula Llewellyn, and asked her for an update on this. First of all, she never happy when she hear what Dr. Clark did office say. She said it was unfortunate he hadn't contacted her office for an update, and this is what she said. She said, perhaps due to an excess of enthusiasm or youthful exuberance, some of the investigators may have had amnesia when advising members of the public or even Mr. Clark as to what's been happening. So Paula not talk with water in her mouth. She said, by the way, that her office had set up an SSL task force just to deal with this case, headed by a senior prosecutor, Deputy Director of Public Prosecutions, the person who deals with financial crime in her office, and that it has 4 lawyers on that task force. Now, she says her office wrote to the investigators on October 23, 2024. She said it's an extremely voluminous exercise with sent a letter indicating all of the matters outstanding. She said it seems there are some investigators who thought by waving a magic wand and speaking it into being that they had enough to go before the courts. But she said since we are the ones saddled with prosecuting cases of this nature to the required standard of beyond a reasonable doubt, and we're not in this thing to get a sound bite, we have to make sure, especially in a complex matter like this, that we have adequate information. So she said there were 12 things that were still needed from the investigators. And she said the FID wrote back to them in December 30, 2024, about the 12 things. She also said there's one that is absolutely critical. And she said what she's been told is that the investigators have had to go through hundreds of boxes and material from SSL to find this critical thing. She said at the office of the DPP, they've already prepared a draft legal opinion. She says about 40 pages waiting for her to sign off on it. But she says her prosecutors know how detailed and thorough she is, and that they're also detailed and thorough. So she says there is a yawning gap, legally speaking, in the opinion that can only be covered by getting the critical documentation from the FID. And she said that is what they're waiting on. She said they have got some of the 12 things, but not this particular critical document. And of course, she wouldn't tell me exactly what that was. She said, we will not die on the altar of expedience to give others a soundbite. She said, we answer to the public interest. She said her deputy, who is in charge of financial crimes, did some research as to what happens in the USA in terms of matters of a similar nature, and that they found that the average in some areas is 5 years from the time of the offense to the time it goes to court. And she went on to say, we do not run a patty shop and we are not a banana republic, so we can only ask for patience. So the DPP is saying, look, things are still outstanding. There's one in particular that's critical, and until they get it, they can't deliver their ruling as to whether or not anybody else should be charged. So that's it for the status of the criminal investigation and whether anybody else is going to be charged. Answer is, right now we don't know. What about the money though? So here's the thing, the company was being wound up, meaning it was being closed because of all the shenanigans, right? And in April 2024, we did get an update from the finance ministry. So this is what they had said at the time, that assets in the company were being transferred to clients. But of course, those are the assets that they never thief. And the finance minister said none of the 200 accounts reportedly affected by the SSL fraud have recovered any part of what was lost due to the fraud. And they said for their part, for the government.
All right. take that away because I'm going to ask some questions tonight, right? For the entire world, these are the questions that I'm going to ask, right? And expose Paula Llewellyn tonight. But before I do that, right, I am going to go for another piece of evidential property, right, to show the people of Jamaica where I'm going as it relates to expose Paula Llewellyn, right, sort of tardiness in the process. Here it is that the finance minister, Nigel Clark, right, is also speaking, right, on the tardiness of the entire system. As according to Nigel Clark, who also contribute to the whole confusion and the whole complexity. Nigel Clark, who also participate in lying. Nigel Clark, who also participate in the entire covering up of SSL, right, is now saying to shift blame from him, because that is what Nigel Clark is doing. Blame shift. Shifting blame from him to say it is not out of his hands. He has spent time to bring in outside entity, which is FID, right? And FID complete their investigation, and the investigation is on Paula Llewellyn's desk. And basically what he's saying, that Paula Llewellyn should have proceeded. We should have more result, have some better result in terms of persons being charged or whatever, right? And his hands are tied. We heard that. Well, let me bring up annex evidential property in terms of where I am going, right? And any other investigator who are listening, you understand, in terms of what I'm going to do now. Without any delay, bring up the next clip. Bring up the next clip. Because I'm going to show the world something tonight. Yes. Bring up the next clip. Bring up the next clip. So Paula Llewellyn, you can't run it now. You can't hide from this, you know. Right? The level of corruption that you are involved in.
Former Stocks and Securities Limited wealth advisor Jeannette Calder says she only confessed to the $3 billion fraud that rocked the company because she was persuaded by the company's founder, Hugh Croskery. In a court filing, Panton alleged that Croskery, on behalf of SSL, persuaded her to confess to stealing over $3 billion from investors, including Sprint legend Usain Bolt. And while the court document didn't specify how he persuaded her, the term the lawyers used was inducement. Jeannette reportedly said she would have never confessed if Croskery didn't make the offer. The former wealth advisor has been locked up since February for breaches of the Larceny Act, the Proceeds of Crime Act, the Forgery Act, and the Cybercrimes Act. But of course, Croskery is denying the allegation. According to a Gleaner article, he strongly refuted it. So far, Panton is the only person arrested in connection to the fraud. But now that she's been in jail for a couple months, maybe she's ready to drop some names. Meanwhile, Usain Bolt and his attorneys just got a court order for 2 banks to release the transaction history of Jeannette's accounts. Bolt's investment account, which was reportedly worth up to $12 million was pretty much wiped out. Only 12,000 USD remained when the athlete checked in January. So his lawyers are probably trying to find out if Panton transferred any of that money into her bank accounts. Over $6 million of Panton's assets were frozen when all of this started, and she was ordered to declare all her assets. So what do you guys think? Is it a sign that more charges could be coming for other SSL employees? And how do you think Hugh Croskery induced Jeannette to confess? Let me know in the comments.
All right. Let us take that away. Now, here my question now, Pastor Ricky. We are going to reason until might be melting pot return. Here the first question. Jeannette Calder admitted, right, that I stole the money. Admitted, right? Written confession where a JP also witnessed, right, a written confession. Now, since you have Jeannette Calder, right, admitted to the crime, my question, what is the delay process in terms of having Jeannette Calder convicted since she admitted? Now, as it relates to the court process, Jeannette Calder now saved the court as it relates to a trial where Jeannette Calder is concerned. Now, when you have in any other ordinary court with America, England, or area, blah, 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 or any other place, and if there's a crime committed, and the accused person of the crime said, I am guilty, right? That within itself would save the court's time. Am I lying, Pastor Ricky?
Right.
Am I lying?
No.
Okay. How long ago that Jeannette Calder claimed that, yes, you understand, she had done the crime, right? Now, Jeannette Calder charged, right? Why is it that the Jamaica court system lingering with Jeannette Calder for what? Right?
To run out the clock.
No. For what? Jeannette Calder admitted to the crime. Admitted. So then, why has she not been convicted? This one person admitted to the crime. Okay. Me come over, we are play them game. And them game we are playing fast. So me come over and we say, okay, all right. We can't bother convict Jeannette Calder because Jeannette Calder make a different statement later on to say, okay, I am going back on the previous statement that I made, right, in saying that I was coerced by you custody. Where I'm going tonight, and I'm going to show strong evidence. I was coerced by you custody. Now, the investigators, how did they treat that information as it relates to what Jeannette Calder told them? So now you have two things going inconsistency, right? Inconsistent as it relates to what she had said previously in terms of admitting to the crime and what she now stating that no, the reason why she admitted to the crime was to the fact that she was induced by you Craskery to do that. Okay. So now, if the investigators is going to move towards what Jeannette Calder said, right? Why you Craskery has not been interrogated? So the investigator is going to bring up melting pot. Yes.
He's in Canada.
Hold on there. We'll get to Paula over there now. We'll get to Paula over there. You understand? If the investigators are going to say, okay, all right, based on what Jeannette Calder said, right, there are inconsistencies. So then we have to investigate to find out the truth. Because the first statement from Jeannette Calder was that, right, she did the crime all by herself. Now, later on, Jeannette Calder changed her statement and said she was induced. Now, let us look at that. Because if you are going to take the first information, then why not proceed, right? Bring Jeannette Panton before the court, right? And Jeannette Panton plead guilty, where you save taxpayers' money, you understand, and have Jeannette Panton convicted. And as a matter of fact, Jeannette Panton would have been interrogated as it relates to what she had done with the money. If Jeannette Panton said, okay, I stole the money, wouldn't that the investigators on it would have asked Jeannette Panton, okay, what did you do with the money? Right? What happened to those questions? What did you do with the money? Right? Tell us how you were able to do it. So then they would have that information from Jeannette Panton. Because if Jeannette Panton admitted now, Jeannette Panton now would have told the investigators, okay, I did it this way. So the investigator would have that information there, right? And I did it for whatever period and where blah, blah, blah. So the investigators would have all of that evidence against Jeannette Panton. Now, we could use the next way. And this is where I'm going. Now, if we are to believe Jeannette Panton as it relates to the latter statement in saying that you cross-carry, right, inducer, coercer. Now, watch this now, people. I am going to bring up a document and show the Jamaican people that what Jeannette Panton said as it relates to you cross-carry coercer would likely to be true. Why would it be true, Mystic Sensation? Okay. Let us go into this thing. You hear me talk about if Andrew Holness did get flagged from way back when, right? SSL wouldn't commit it. This is how we are going to prove it now. Now, as it relates to SSL, right? Remember, people, that you cross-carry run along with Paul Cheng Young. Let us bring up that evidence and show Jamaican people.
Yep.
You cross-carry run along with Paul Cheng Young and did the very similar thing as it relates to what SSL had experienced. Let us bring up that evidence. Let us bring up that evidence. And so then, Andrew Holness, when I spoke earlier, Andrew Holness would have known about this case. Andrew Holness know about this particular case. Now, let us read. Cross-carry assures Court of Corporation and Shenyang Properties. And this is published Wednesday, May 23, 2007, people. So when I say that as it relates to Andrew Holness situation with Andrew Holness awarding contracts to Gavin, right? Facilitate the awarding of contracts to Gavin between 2007 and 2009. See what we are looking at, people. Published Wednesday, May 23, 2007. The same time Andrew Holness doing his wrong bang, and all of them wrong bang there Andrew Holness had done. Right? No investigator have not investigated to say, okay, all of that money, right, would have now put into SSL 2008. People, it is 2008 Andrew Holness joined SSL. 2008. But prior to 2008, before Andrew Holness joined SSL, look what was happening to cross-carry. Look what was happening to cross-carry. And so that Andrew Holness would have known cross-carry and know that cross-carry and Paul Cheng Young mix up in this. Because Andrew Holness went into SSL 2008. People make read. The Supreme Court has lifted the injunction against you, cross-carry, in his capacity as trustee of Phoenix Note Holder Trust. The stockbroker has announced in a public statement, Justice Marjorie Cole Smith had initially placed an injunction on cross-carry to May 10 and had given him 14 days to declare the locations of all assets held by him on behalf of Phoenix, whether in his own name or nominees. Now, Croskery says he has given his undertaking to the court not to dispose of any assets held by the trust without notice or consent. The assets were frozen in mid-April on the application of Jamaica Solicitor General Michael Hilton QC at the time, who had traced ownership of the properties held by Phoenix to Paul Cheng Young, former head of the collapsed Eagle Group of companies. The Miami court has since lifted the freeze on Cheng Young, which means he is free to transact business with them in that jurisdiction. Now, Croskery said of his role in the trust that he acted purely in a representative capacity as trustee for a small group of investors who put up the funds to purchase houses. As trustee, he ensured that their investments were protected, like how he's ensured that the SSL investors are protected. Same old criminal behavior, you know. The statement said, barred. Courts in Jamaica and Florida had barred Cheng Young and Croskery for disposing of assets, right, on the application of Eagle Merchant Bank and Crown Eagle Life, two of Cheng Young's former companies commandeered by the Jamaican government at the advent of the financial sector meltdown. And this is FinSac, you know, people. This is FinSac. As it relates to Paul Cheng Young, you Croskery, this is FinSac. Here it is, right? Two of Cheng Young's former companies commandeered by the Jamaican government at the advent of the financial sector meltdown. Croskery has again asserted that the freezing order was not related to his securities brokerage, Stocks and Security Limited, formerly what? Paul Cheng Young and Associates, of which is a chairman. So people, the evidence is there. SSL was formerly Paul Cheng Young and Associates. It presented evidence now, people, to the Kingston and Miami court showing that Cheng Young, despite a court order on May 4th, 2006, to declare his assets and not to deal with or dispose of any properties without approval. Look what the criminal had done. Criminal Cheng Young, look what he had done. He had transferred 19 properties to Croskery on May 12th, just days after the judgment against him to pay over 900 million plus with interest. So Croskery, they hide the property for Paul Cheng Young. And a Mr. So, you know. And a Mr. So. And a melting pot so. Right? And a Pastor Ricky say. 3 other properties were transferred to Croskery on May 24 and June 15 of that same year. The former Eagle boss also held 170 Florida properties in a company of which was president, director, and treasury. Contempt of the court hearing against Cheng Young are set for July 5th, at which time the Solicitor General is expected to argue for his imprisonment. I'm going to take that away and I'm going to talk to the people now. Take it away and let me talk to the people. So when Mystic Sensation said, if Andrew Holness had stopped, if we didn't have a robust criminal justice system, Andrew Holness knew very well as it relates to you, Croskery, Paul Cheng Young, right? The FinSac where here Andrew Holness want to try to give PNP to. Now just look at it in the people. Will Andrew Holness come out and talk about the greatest transfer of wealth from the poor to the rich? Andrew Holness running along now with you, Croskery. Andrew Holness join, right? The same set of people, right? 2008 in SSL. And people, we have no evidence, not one shred of evidence, any at all, as it relates to the total investigation what the IC had done showing where any money coming out of Andrew Holness' account going into SSL. But what the evidence is showing that money coming out of SSL going into Andrew Holness' account.
My God.
This is crippling, you know? And this is the man, you understand, who is seeking a third term, you know? This is crippling, people. This is the man who is seeking a third term. 2008, when Andrew Holness joined SSL. In 2007, as the document that I showed, right? You prostrate, Paul Cheng Young in a bank and in the court. Over. You understand? As it relates to the crisis of the financial meltdown. And Andrew Holness have the audacity and several campaign blaming PNP, saying it is the greatest and querulous transfer, right, of wealth from the poor to the rich. Now you look at this, it's a hypocrite. Right? Look at this piece of hypocrite. And coming up with a bare-faced test. Still running on campaign. Andrew Holness needs to take away himself and allow the investigation, right, to proceed peacefully. He cannot answer the Integrity Commission investigator's question as it relates to how do you come by your wealth. So when you look at Jeannette Calder, what are they doing with Jeannette Calder as it relates to Parliamentary, who claim, right, who claim that she's not going to sacrifice on the altar, right? Expedient. But she wants to be accurate. She wants to dot all the I's and cross all the T's. And while Paula is saying that, right? You have Paula Llewellyn of situation where you have tampered jury. Paula Llewellyn is saying that they know that I am very thorough. That's what she said. Here it is, right? Saying that she's very detailed and thorough. She's very detailed and thorough. Then Paula Llewellyn, if you're very detailed and thorough, what is the status of Jeannette Calder? You're detailed and thorough. And we know your thoroughness going. Even though you have tampered jurors, yes, a judge, go on with it. But you're detailed and thorough. So even though we have Jeannette Calder, this is the question. Any investigators ask Jeannette Calder as it relates to, okay, since you claim that, okay, you have done it, right? Okay, what did you do with the money? And where the money is? So at least if the government care, the government could have been able to recuperate on it, right? At least 20, 30, or 40% of the money. Some of it, if they can't recuperate all of it, but you understand, get back some of it, right, so that they can at least give back to people. She said she had done it. So if she said she had done it, are the investigators not asking her, okay, what did you do with the money? Which bank you have the money into? When did you take it? What time period? So then if Paula Llewellyn have where, okay, Jeannette Calder said she took the money this date, right, over a protracted period. Okay, you have the evidence against Jeannette Calder. And Jeannette Calder said, okay, after $4 billion that missing, okay, me take $2 billion out of it or $3 billion or whatever me take out of it and blah, blah, blah. You understand? I mean, as it relates to the prosecution function, the prosecutor should be working with the investigator from the initial case. From the case begin, in terms of the prosecutor had to collect some of that data. So if the prosecutor was there from the beginning, Now the prosecutor is saying, now, this is what the prosecutor is saying, right? The prosecutor is saying now that she is now preparing an SSL task force. So when did the DPP decided to establish an SSL task force? When you use all the evidence all the tampered with, when you use laptop all stolen, what you talk to me now? What you talk to me? After laptop stolen, after people who's supposed to leave the building still are working on the building, and the SSL, the DPP never decided to set up a task force. Then, in the initial stage, the DPP now they set up a task force now. Now this is a madness. Now let me go to the panel right away, Melting Pot. Take it away.
Yeah. Well, we know in the Jean Pantan scenario, the falsified case them up against that woman right now. Because you touch on some key point in Byron as it relates to the investigating team, you know, has not investigated this woman so that we as Jamaican can be privy to the outcome of the investigation. So she just locked up in a holding area. I don't think she has been charged, because I have not heard that she has been charged and what her sentencing is like, how much time in prison, not like that. We just know that they arrest her and keep her in a confined space. But we know Jeannette Pantan cannot take that vast amount of money.
That's right.
And it disappear, that it cannot be traced. Because if she admit to the fact that, you know, she took the money in the first place, but then she also retract of her statement, yeah, saying that she was coerced by Ukraskri. No, I think that, you know, the powers that being should take her statement very, very credible. Because they all know who Ukraskri is, you know. He's a holy God. And his power will reign over people like Jeannette Pantan, who has been working for a long time with the SSL group. Probably she's one of the more senior employees there. And her role of responsibility was advisor. So she's not working in a financial banking institution, you know, where that amount of money is at her disposal. She's working in a entity that deal with stocks and shares, no cash. So how did Jeannette Pantan get around onto this vast amount of money? That's a question we want to ascertain, but we are not getting that. Because the school children in England, even if them blind, them could see that this woman could not take this amount of money and it's not showing up anywhere in the world.
Exactly.
They have not seen where she has done any transaction business in real estate or any opening up any new company in her name or any associate link with her. They don't have a trace of her bank account, because she must have to have a business account to be doing business. And where can Jeannette Pantan hide all this money? Where? So everything is just a shamble. And the justice system has let down this one. More Canali's entity has not done their work properly. They haven't even done any work, as far as I can see. Because everybody know how SSL go. So all who are trying to cover up, you know, the truth of SSL is just making themselves look stupid. In the eyes of intelligent people, Jeannette and Panton cannot take that amount of money. Because she would have to get certified check that has more than one signature to take to the bank to withdraw that amount of money. It would have to be certified. Her signature alone could not warrant that money to be disbursed from where it's been held, because SSL is not a bank. It's not a financial bank. It's a stocks and share limited.
But let me say something and strengthen your argument, Melting Pot, before Pastor Ricky come in. Right? Number one, Jeannette Panton could never, under no circumstances, beat SSL internal audit system.
Right.
Exactly.
Because SSL is going to have an internal audit system, right? Whether they might do it quarterly, right?
Half yearly,
or whether they might do it annually. So
yeah.
Jeannette Panton admitted that she has been stealing money from 2012 coming upward, right?
Yeah.
Could never be SSL internal audit system and them no know that she has steal. So it tells me that you Croskery know about the stealing.
You know about the stealing.
Right, is the head of it. Right? You Croskery organized it just like what he did as
with Eagle Merchant
Paul
Bank.
Young.
Yeah.
So
it's a continuation in a Byron from the Paul Chen Young Eagle Merchant Bank.
So the continuation that right? he come and execute right here again.
The same thing, lightning strike twice.
Jamaican Labour Party.
And this is why we know Andrew Holness, know everything about the Eagle Merchant Bank Group, know everything about you Croskery, because Paul Chen Young dead and gone. Yes, you Croskery the man now in the hot seat. You know everything about this guy, yeah? Why you get yourself entangled with him? Why? And I mean, you know, the financial FinSAC did also outline that SSL in a trouble. But nobody never eat FinSAC allegation.
Exactly.
You understand? And I sure know the Prime Minister must be privy to what the report that FinSAC had put out.
Yes.
So for Andrew Holness' name to be high up on the list in the SSL saga, it show you it's a mafia scheme. Yeah,
exactly.
Run by you Croskery.
Exactly.
To defraud the customer. Yeah.
You Croskery call him Prince Andrew, you know? Prince Andrew.
Well, there you go. Yeah. So we know for a fact, you know, that this is a corrupted scheme, and this woman that them all responsible for all this vast amount of money is the wrong person them have behind bars. They know who the perpetrator is. They know who the mastermind is. But we already know from the outset that they're not gonna touch him.
Exactly.
We were privy to that information. We know how the saga would have played out. But we are just saying to the authority, we need to hear the full story of the Jeannette Panton saga. Why she's been held. She's not been charged in terms of, you know, having a day in court and the matter settled and she get a sentence. Not like that. She's just been held.
Crazy.
You understand? Because I am going to use the term under the suspicion. Let's put it like that then. Yeah? You suspect Jeannette Panton to be the person that stole all this money from SSL customer. Well, do the investigation. Do a traceable investigation if you know she have the money. Because she should have to tell you where she keep the money, you know, when she take the money, what and what she do with the money. You'd have to bank account with the money. Yeah, and I mean red flag would have popped up on Jeannette Panton long time ago. Because banking system looking to people background. Who is this Jeannette Panton to be bringing so much money into our banking system? Who is this Jeannette Panton to be withdrawing so much money from a banking system? So red flag would have popped up. So this is just a shamble that the Jamaica Labour Party government is playing out. Using the DPP as their main cog in the web.
Exactly.
You understand? And we are asking for justice for this woman from a long time. So the whole scenario is just a falsified case them bring against the woman. But I don't know if she didn't even admit to the charge in the first place. Because when people are trying to pull off a stunt, you know, what they do, they come up with so much excuse to make a case look like it's real. So we know when Big Mama did run out and said she owned luxurious apartment, we know that was a lie. So you can see that they plan how to fictitiously put a case against this woman for she to be the center of the controversy, to deflect from the real criminal element, which is you Croskery, the main perpetrator. Andrew Hollis knew everything that was going on. Nigel Clark knew everything what was going on. Yeah? So we know who are the criminal, and we need the case not to be a case that seems as if it's dead in the water. Because if Jeannette Panton is accused of this criminal offense, you know, why has she not had her day in court?
Well, that's the problem, brother. This is corruption.
Yeah, and this is long enough for she to have a hearing in court. A date should be set aside long time because this is a worldwide situation, you know. It makes news right around the world because Usain Bolt, you understand? Just the name Usain Bolt make this thing traverse right around the world. So we are asking the question from the investigating team in Jamaica that arrested Jeannette Panton. Why did you arrest her in the first place? And why has she not got a court date? And why she has not been in court and put on trial? Is she just the paper over the crack? We have to ask this question.
True.
Because the whole entire world know that Jeannette Panton cannot take $31 billion, Jamaican dollars. No way she could hide 31 billion Jamaican dollars. Yeah. It would be ridiculous for her to have 31 billion Jamaican dollars when she's not known in Jamaica.
You mean 3 billion? 3 billion?
3 billion, right, yeah. When she's not known in Jamaica as a business person, yeah, she don't win the lotto. She don't have no farmer investment. Then how she come by 3 billion?
Crazy. Crazy. Honestly.
So, you know, I can understand why them have Jeannette Panton and why we're not hearing what, you know, is happening to this woman. Why we don't hear anything furthermore about you, Croskery, like him disappear off of the landscape. You know, why we don't hear about him son. You understand? Because them two people are the two main perpetrators, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah? And I sure know if the real investigation should ever come to light. Even Andrew Hollis have to be in a court.
All right.
Even him have to be in court. Because remember, you know, we used to hear money transferred from SSL into an account that Andrew Hollis went and opened with no money 10 days prior to that money going into his account from SSL. So that is just showing you a direction of what took place and who were involved. We don't see anybody else get any money from SSL.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Only Andrew Wallace. You understand? And we see how him set up the account for that money leave from SSL into that account. As I said, people, the account was open 10 days prior to the money going into it. And the account was open without any money being deposited. Zero money open that account. But that account was open at NCB.
And the bank
NCB CEO is a very good friend and partner of Andrew Wallace. So, and everything is just false and fraud we see in front of us. And I mean, you know, international community look like them have got to step in now because the DPP get the conclusion of the investigation from Crawl, you know. It depends on our desk.
Depend on this.
Yeah.
Like
And
Nigel
she
Clark
knows-
said.
Yeah.
Nigel Clark said.
Right.
Nigel Clark, as I come to him, you understand that is fed up because of the tardiness of the DPP. All right, but let me just mention, but good analysis there. Let us bring in Pastor Ricky in the space because we know so Pastor Ricky want to come beat up, you know. Yes,
Well,
come through, Pastor Ricky.
I endorse everything you said and Melting Pot have said or stated. Now, this is what I call the great steal, the heart of the steal, where Nigel Clark should come back in handcuffs and bangles on his feet, shackles on his feet. The criminal prime minister should be in prison. The NCB CEO should be investigated and indicted as well.
That's true. That's
true. And you, Krosky, should be extradited back from Canada to face trial. This is bigger than FinSAC. Let me say this again. This is bigger than FinSAC. This SSL Ponzi scheme, as you well stated, Sir Byron, was they dissolve Paul Cheng Young and Associates and then form SSL, transfer the asset from there to SSL in 2008. And then the criminal prime minister was a shareholder in SSL. Now, as both of you said, there's no way under the sun, an investment company, it's not a bank where cash inflow of cash and outflow of cash transactions are taking places. This is a trading company and so forth. So that there should be, I'm pretty sure that they have checks and balances to safeguard against theft and fraudulent accounts and so forth there. There's no way under the sun Jeannette Calder is going to have access to be able to transfer that amount of wealth to herself. And there's not alarm bells going off in SSL to alert that one of the employees are stealing money. I am pretty sure she's been used as the scapegoat in all of this. The Kroll report, Kroll's an associate, a British company, forensic audit company, already conducted the forensic investigation into this fraudulent Ponzi scheme, and that defrauded 200 accounts, including Usain Bolt, and over 30 million US dollars was stolen from this Ponzi scheme. NHT, National Housing Trust, was also an investor into SSL, which was using taxpayers' money that they, withdrew from their paychecks for NHT. When you look at this DPP now, who Sir Byron has endorsed, she came back. This is why they were fighting for her to come back, because of the powers of the DPP, according to Section 94 of the Constitution, where she has the power to stop any investigation or start any investigation. But I still hold the mindset that she's afraid to bring this to a conclusion. She has what, 6 more months? September is the 9th month. She has 7 more months, or 7 more months
7
left
more
in
months.
office, in her office. And I think that this case has international implications for her. Even though she might be protected right now in office as the DPP, when she leaves office, she can face prosecution, because you know what? The United States of America, Uncle Sam, their dollar is one of their interests. And when you mess with Uncle Sam interests, you will cause Uncle Sam to go to war with you for their interests. And the fact that $30 million is stolen from this Ponzi scheme, it's already sending alarm bells off in the intelligence community of the United States. Plus, the U.S. intelligence services, they communicate with other international partners, such as the one in the UK where Kroll Associate, I'm sure investigators from them had to alert the U.S. intelligence that $30 million was stolen from SSL. So if this corrupt DPP thinks she can squash this, throw it out, cover it up, protect any of the criminals that's involved in it, if she want to be that sacrificial lamb and wind up in prison for covering up a crime, because this is a crime, then when she don't know that the U.S., let me remind her, the U.S. have a law called the Magnitsky Act, the Global Magnitsky Accountability Human Rights Act. That act was passed by the U.S. Congress in 2016 to go after Russian oligarchs for money laundering and so forth. That law gives the U.S. government the power and the authority to go into any country in the world and to make arrests and extradite people back to the United States. Read it; it's online. Go read the U.S. Global Magnitsky Accountability Human Rights Act. It's an act by Congress. So if this corrupt DPP thinks that she can get away with squashing this, crushing this, stopping this, when the Kroll forensic auditor investigators recommended charges for some people that's involved in this Ponzi scheme, then you might as well make up your mind to spend the rest of your life in prison, because this consists of $30 million, and then Usain Bolt has 12 million out of the 30 that's tied up into this theft, the great steal. So when the criminal prime minister run out and talk about, oh, the greatest shifting of wealth from the poor to the rich happened during the FinSat era, he's lying. He's a pathological liar. It happens under his watch with SSL. SSL is bigger than FinSat. And that's where 200 accounts had their money shifted. These were investors investing into a company that they thought was legitimate, did not do their research and background check to find out what type of company. They were just happy to jump on an opportunity that can create wealth. And this goes to show that everybody, before you get involved in some investment schemes or opportunities, do your research in the company and find out as much as you can before you start investing in those companies. Because Paul Cheng Young and Associate flop, collapse, through what you just read, Sir Byron, with the court, putting pressure on them and so forth from the document you just read. And you Krosky, gave over buildings to Paul Cheng Young to hide his wealth. And so they had to dissolve that And so they start another Ponzi scheme, which was SSL in 08. And the criminal prime minister is a part of this and has shares in SSL. And that's why he was able to get a return from SSL going into a NCB bank account that he opened with $0, but yet at 143,000 US dollars transfer into that account, which is red flags again. And so, listen, we are on top of this thing big time, and we now let it go. We're going to continue beat it. One last point. Go back to Norman Brown, the first clip you showed. The reason why he had to withdraw his case against the IC, it was the same IC report that revealed that he deposited $4 million into 20 times at the ATM machine. $4 million of dirty money, money laundering, because he can't wire transfer it into the account because it would leave a paper trail. And he cannot explain that to the Integrity Commission because it might go compromise the criminal prime minister. That's his friend and his business partner. And so he had to withdraw because when he went on the witness stand and take that oath, it's something about that oath to all the criminals in the Jamaica Labour Party government. When you have to take that oath and you swore to tell the truth and nothing but the truth, and if you lie, you perjure yourself, and that's a crime right there. Norman Brown did not want to perjure himself to lie for the criminal prime minister. So he had to withdraw the case from the courts, because once him go up on the stand, go take the oath, it would have to tell the truth and nothing but the truth. So help him God. Amen. Back over to you.
Wonderful.
Yeah, one more question to my, panel. For Jeannette Pantan, to move money from SSL, she is not a director. Right. And those money would have to be, on a check.
Approved.
Approved. It has to be approved.
It has to be approved.
And it cannot be approved.
One signature.
It cannot be approved with one signature.
Right, it has to be approved with more than one signature.
Checks and balances.
So we want to know if Jeannette Pantan said yes, she take the money. Who approved her to steal the money? Because whichever bank she got to get the money from with that check,
yes,
would see whereas there is just one signature and it need where there the rest of signature to approve the withdrawal.
Exactly.
So we know everything is a lie.
You understand? Yes, you'd have to have at least two signatures, Melting Pot, at least two. Because the thing is, and that's why we talk about, there's no way Jeannette Pantan would have been allowed, right, to steal and not being, and the SSL internal audit system, right, did not flag SSL, did not flag Jeannette Pantan, right?
They would have to flag her.
Yes, because they are going to carry out their audit, right? And remember, if you have just for simple understanding, if you have the company of 200 accounts, right, as it relates to all of the monies that allotted to wherever account, right? Now you're going to have that particular money deal with whatever process, right? We know that, okay, all right, there weren't any SSL doing any business on the stock market, right? They were actually stealing the people's money, right? So if money missing, the internal audit system should have picked up Jeannette Pantan, right? Definitely, and it didn't. So it simply means that the entire system, right, collaborates with the theft, right? So it has to be aligned with you cross-carry knowledge of the theft.
Exactly. Definitely. But Sir Byron, let me ask you a question, because you're an investigator, certified investigator.
Yeah.
Money that is being transferred on a computer, Jeannette Pantan would have to have the code to log into these accounts Am I right or wrong?
Yeah, you're right in certain aspect.
Because it's not a bank where people go inside to to do investment. It's an online transaction.
Exactly.
Online transaction.
But apart
so
from that code, hold on, let me just finish that and
okay.
Understand. Right? It wouldn't be a one code system, it would be a dual code system. She would have to seek authorization.
Yeah.
Right? In terms of getting authorization to access
yes.
certain portfolios.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. And who would have given her that
the access code.
Exactly. Right? So she can't just have access, you understand, to the influx of cash like that.
No.
And then be able to move it. You understand?
Right.
Without anyone. No. You understand?
Right. But even she will move it by around when she alone can make up the check.
And number one, as a matter of fact, you said something earlier which I want to follow up on. From the moment if Jeannette Panton was hiding then and said stealing the money in terms of SSL not knowing, from once Jeannette Panton put that money into a banking system, over $1 million should have get flagged.
Should have get flagged.
$1 million alone.
Even half a million shall get flagged.
But we know, but I am positively sure as it relates to $1 million because sometimes when we traverse to Jamaica, right, and we have to deal with certain things, right? If we have to change X amount of money that is going to equate to the $1 million, right? The bank is saying to us, so I know that Jeannette Panton couldn't do it. The bank is saying to us that we need to show, right, source of funds. So normally what I do, right, when I am going to Jamaica, I normally get a bank statement from here, right, that is going to show the history of my transaction, right, being in Canada. You understand me? I say in terms of that money. You see me I deal with? Without that, the bank is not even going to convert my money.
I have the same problem already. Exactly. I know what you're talking about, Byron.
Exactly. So Jeannette Panton, just for $1 million, $1 million. We not talk about $3 billion.
$1 million.
$1 million. Jeannette Panton couldn't just put $1 million in the bank, and she can't explain the source of funds.
So that means we need banking regulations.
Exactly. So then the reason why this case is so serious, the reason why this case is very serious is to the fact that the banking system, to have that money going through the banking system, there's a lot of flaw from the banking system, and people in the bank are going to be prosecuted as well.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So when Fed completed their investigation, this is the reason why we can't know any at all who are the persons Fed recommend to be charged.
Right.
Because remember, I know that not Fed, CRAL.
Right.
Remember that CRAL completed its investigation,
Yeah.
Right? And it is not CRAL alone who had done the investigation, It is CRAL and Fed, and with the assistance of the FSC. So there were 3 entities involved: the FSC, Financial Service Commission, right? CRAL and Fed.
Right.
Right? And so then, but this is it in terms of how the situation, and as it relates to what Paula Lulin is explaining, makes no sense. Remember that from the onset, they are saying that, okay, the scale of the crime is so complex. Right? And the reason for Nigel Clark to go out of Jamaica was to the fact that Nigel Clark is saying that there is, as it relates to the investigation scope, skills, and ability, right? They cannot, you understand, decipher, right, or resolve this situation. You need expert. Remember, the Paula I'm not expert enough.
Right.
Because
that's not our area of competence.
Exactly. Remember, you know, Paula Llewellyn said, right, financial crime is not really her area of competence, that's what you said. She mentioned that into a seminar.
Yeah.
So then, how is it now that Paula Llewellyn all of a sudden now get brilliant than the expert? And I tell the expert them say, okay, we don't need this document here and this document. And then what I'm saying, then if Paula Llewellyn, right, has that level of expertise, why do we need to go out and get crowned?
Exactly.
We would need to get crowned.
Why did Paula Llewellyn did not send his prosecutor, right, on the task force that she's creating after the fact?
She should have created a task force before Kroll was called in.
I mean, the task force should have been there from once the crime announced.
Right.
Definitely.
And number one, the task force now should be involved in protecting the evidence, collecting the evidence, protecting the evidence, you understand, and preserving the evidence.
Right.
Both collecting, protecting, and preserving the evidence. So then Paula Llewellyn now, as it relates to the whole criminal justice system, wait until all the people are go to SSL when SSL is supposed to be called now, you know, and protected. You know.
Yeah.
Right? The government of SSL open. That's all of 5 laptops can be stolen.
5 laptops. Breaking 5 laptops missing.
So then what it seems like what Paula Llewellyn, right, want to say that, okay, the crucial evidence that left to come, right, was stolen. And it's on one of the laptops.
But Sir Byron, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Did Nigel Clark announce that he needed money, a withdrawal to pay the workers to protect the laptops and help go inside the computer to let investigators in?
15 million a week, you know.
Right, exactly. So I know he was lying. I'm just saying I brought that up because that's what he said.
Yeah, but Pastor Ricky lied. You and I know.
Yeah.
But if this did happen in in America, one of the first things the investigators are going to be are going to do, right, is to ensure that all of those workers, right, who involved stay out
of the crime scene. Yeah.
They couldn't know we are around the crime scene and the computer.
All of those workers, right? Number one, the first thing is that the investigators would have protected the crime scene.
Yeah.
And so then when they protect the crime scene, you are going to comb within the crime scene. You are going to collect evidence, right? You are going to protect the evidence, and you are going to preserve the evidence.
Right.
The first thing that they would have done is make sure that them get all of the hard drive from the computer them.
So let's look at that.
Exactly.
You understand? They would have to collect all the hard drive from the computers.
And more, it shows Paula Llewellyn, you understand, level of, I'm not going to say incompetence, because
level of corruption.
The level of, I would say, possibly involvement.
Maybe.
You understand? Because she's now totally, as what I am seeing, in terms of her ineptness, right? Now you go and present a task force after what? Crucial evidence gone.
Yeah.
You're putting in a task force
to do what?
Hold on. So then, if you are a prudent prosecutor, your prudence shouldn't tell you that, right? The task force should be there in the initial stage. You should have the task force from the initial stage, and the task force should work with the investigator.
Exactly.
Your prudence couldn't tell us, well, all right. These investigators fed, right? Crime, right? In the interest of preserving the evidence, would have properly collected the evidence, properly protected the evidence, and have them preserved, have them properly stored and preserved.
Yeah.
Right?
Because at the rightfully said, Byron, a crime scene, you know, would have been carded off, you know, and there would be no workers entering in and out of that crime scene.
Exactly.
All right.
Good. But when we hear Nigel Clark say need 15 million for pay wages a week time, 15 million, you know.
What is this?
That was a red flag that he's implicating it to a cover up.
You're going to tell me that, okay, right, the man with the PhD doesn't know that? No, look here. When a crime committed, right? Whether it may be financial crime, right? Whether it may be felony or whatever, crime committed, right? One of the first things that is going to happen is that the crime scene has to be protected. Investigation 101.
Right.
True.
What reason you protect the crime scene?
You don't want to tamper with it.
You want to tamper and I want to preserve whatever evidence is there to be
seen because you want to make sure that you can properly comb the crime scene and all the evidence within the perimeter of the crime scene is going to be properly collected.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I mean, the situation of SSL is so blatant, you know.
But just remember that in a couple of months we will have access to the reports because it will be changing of the guards and they have to do everything. So we will soon know in a couple of months what the report said.
And Byron had the rightful say, no, this DPP, I dig a hole for yourself.
Exactly. She'll go to prison when she leaves, man. This is going to bring her down. Watch. Remember, I'm telling her that.
Hey, I'm telling you, Byron, I'm pastor.
I agree.
You see, Paula Llewellyn, she's a stupid DPP. Because what Paula Llewellyn does, you know, is that she removed the trust altogether of a DPP. Because a DPP must be trustworthy to carry out, you know, the law and in the right manner.
And she should be independent too from
she
politics.
has to be independent
from politics.
And she cannot align herself to no politician.
Well, the DPP shouldn't be the DPP for Andrew Holness.
DPP. She has to be the DPP for the people in Jamaica. You understand?
Right.
So we see where she compromised herself.
Exactly.
By being attached to Andrew Holness and Andrew Holness dirty corruption.
What a sad way to end her career.
As you, Sir Byron, she might be involved.
She
because
is.
As a DPP, she's supposed to know that she cannot get herself attached to Andrew Holness and not where am I going with, you know. She's supposed to make sure no say she fling the law book at Andrew Holness by all means if him found guilty. But protecting Andrew Holness just show her that she's a part of what is going on.
Yeah.
I mean,
so, you know, when as Lady Anne-Marie just said, in a couple months' time when the report, you know, reveal, we're going to hear some name where we going to drop down. Some name are going to make we drop down.
And Comrade Leader Mark Goley need to get a new Kroll report in case they tamper with this one. And
well, yes, the leader of the opposition have to ask for a copy
from Krolls and Associates. Get it from them. Yeah.
They have to get a copy of the original report.
It's
right.
Federal. It's federal. It's a crime for them to tamper with the
Well, these people cannot be trusted.
They are lunatics. Lunatics does anything.
The thing about this,
right,
it is so obvious, right, that the government is doing everything, right, to tamper with evidence and do everything. Because what? The government involved.
Exactly.
Involved. If the government was not involved, the government will ensure that we have transparency in the SSL.
And move swifter towards, you know, getting this case resolved.
Involvement. Why, as a matter of fact, the complexity, what they are talking about, you know, is to the fact that the government involved.
Yeah.
So that is the complexity.
Because, of course, the complexity show that. It reveals that. Because when you look at Andrew Holness, alignment to Hugh Croskery, Hugh Croskery referring to him as Prince Andrew. When you see Nigel Clark also, you know, have close ties. Because we have a picture with the whole of them together, you know.
Yeah, but look at the melting pot. Jean and Pantan say, look here, All right. This is the first statement that I had given to you people. Right? I did not speak the truth.
Right.
Here's the truth now. Right? I was coerced by you, Croskery. Having said that, what the investigator team should have done, okay, because you have two inconsistent reports here coming from Jeannette Calder. You have to investigate now to find the truth, right?
Right.
You know very well enough that based on you Croskery history, he had done this before.
Right.
Right.
Right? It is that like you're dealing with someone who, right, this is just a new situation with, you know.
Yeah, it's not a first offender.
That's about you Croskery work that run with Paul Cheng Young.
Right.
You know, the financial meltdown.
Financial meltdown at 90s.
Dan Crawford. Dan Crawford
involved as well.
This is you Croskery. It is not his first rodeo.
No. So these are the bulletin points where, you know, we are put out there to them, you know.
Yeah.
You Croskery. Yeah. Affiliation with Paul Cheng Young. The same thing occur. You Croskery. Affiliation in a SSL. The same thing occur. Why you don't want to look at Jeannette Calder when she come back and tell you, say, yes, I said so, but I was told to say so by you, Croskery. And I want to retract my
She's the scapegoat. She's the scapegoat.
Okay. So then, all right, you have you Croskery, right? Under that surveillance, right? Because obviously, you know, what it goes to show, you know, that the investigators, none of the investigators, look at you Croskery. You know. Why? Because if they were looking at you Croskery would not allow to leave the island.
No.
Right.
Common sense.
No.
So as we speak, none of them have you Croskery in their crossfire. None of them.
But the reason why, it's not like they don't know says him. It's not like they don't know that it's him, you know. It's a reason why, because remember, you know.
They can't touch him because they touch him.
It's not that they can't touch him, Byron. No man is untouchable. But in Jamaica, because of the high level of corruption involving the high command of the JCF and the leader of the country, and the DPP is a ring of corruption, you know. The farm around
you. Culture of corruption.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right?
So that's why I'm asking.
Is untouchable.
That's why I'm asking Melting Pot. Which one of the statement that the investigators are going on? Are they going on the initial statement where Jeannette Calder claimed that, okay, she did the crime? Are they going on the second statement? So then if you are going on the first statement, right, why not bring Jeannette Calder in front of the court, right?
That's what I was asking earlier.
She admitted, have her convicted, right, and save taxpayers' money.
Exactly.
Save taxpayers' money.
Yeah, you never have to send for crawl.
Right. So then Jeannette Calder said, well, all right, you want no, don't give the court any problem to try the case. I am pleading guilty.
Right.
About it, even her confession is suspicious because when you're going to get a JP to witness her doing it and then sign, isn't it that she's supposed to get due process and have a lawyer and stuff for her?
She should have a lawyer, not a JP. She should have a lawyer.
Police station or whatever, not in a company with a JP.
Right. JP is not the personnel for that circumstance. She should have a lawyer. And I mean, Lady Ann, I mean, if Jeannette Calder have $3 billion, right? Oh, she don't have a lawyer. That she have to see JP.
Good question.
Oh, she don't have a lawyer to protect her estate and her wealth.
And if they believe they're the first time, you think they took that sworn confession and let you Krosky out of the country because they said she's the fault person.
Remember, you know, Jeannette Calder was bribed, you know, and promised money, you know.
All right.
But the oligarch is a criminal and a liar, just like when you say Andrew Wallace promote peanut dread for help him and just bash him away. You understand? At the
All
same,
right.
and these are these guys' tactics, you know.
Exactly.
Them
All right.
tactics.
You want no legend part because I come to the time around me, so we have a close off, you know. So but we take the final closing statement from Pastor Ricky, and then we move on to melting pot final closing statement.
Yeah.
What you have to say? What let me direct you. What in terms of your final statement? What you have to say to the Jamaica electorate?
Time come. Put the X beside the head. There's an orange wave. Them nervous. Them afraid. Them are panic because these criminals think they can hold on to power forever, and so much layers have been peeled back, and so much exposures right before everybody eyes on them. So we know what to do now. Go out, get numerated before March 31st deadline, and go out to vote. I just want to say one more last thing to the criminal prime minister. Your days are numbered. You are going down with a lot of your cronies are going down with you. And the DPP, eyes on the files are on you from international waters. And if you try to get rid of this SSL criminal scandal, you will be prosecuted when you leave office. Remember, I told you that there's a new sheriff coming into town. Una techna talk, no nonsense guy.
Clarify for me, Pastor Ricky. Hold on, Pastor Ricky. Clarify for me when you said the Prime Minister days are numbered, because we don't want people take. I'm
not gonna make no threat to nobody's life.
So
when I say days are numbered, I'm talking about to go to prison, as I always state. But thank you so much. Yeah, his days are numbered. He thinks he's in office and he's above the law. He's untouchable. But once you leave office, your days are numbered in terms of going to prison. That's what I meant. And so to the DPP, a lot of eyes are on you. You don't want to go spend the rest of your life in prison by throwing out a case that requires, according to the Kroll report, recommended for prosecutions. Do your job. Do your job. Stay independent from political alignment. This is international. The U.S. is involved because 30 million of U.S. dollars are involved. UK Kroll auditor, forensic auditor is involved because they saw the investigation close up. So you can try, but you can't. And if you do, that's the worst mistake of your entire career in the Department of Prosecution, because criminal charges will come. The final point, there's a new sheriff coming into town. His name is Mark Jefferson Golden. He was a former justice minister. He follows the rule of law. He's guided by the Constitution in his decision making. And him is a no-nonsense guy. And he said he will have forensic audit in all government agencies or wide across the government. So they will find out what was going on. And if you have let royal criminal read off, if you let anybody that is before the court, Patrick Bailey case, they will know when the new sheriff come to town, and you can be held liable for preventing the course of justice. Back over to you, Sir Byron.
But I see Peter Flynn. Let me just bring up Peter Flynn question here. How long can you hold a person in jail for if you fail to charge that person within 72 hours? I'm not sure. But what is it that they are telling us? All of this is not matching to the 28 accounts. So and Peter Flynn is right, because number one, it is not like the government come out, right, and charge Jeannette Calder. It is not like the government come out and charge Jeannette Calder. And how long Jeannette Calder has been into the custody of the police? without being
As far
charged.
as we know, she's just a detainee. She's been
Seriously, this is very
detained.
serious enough.
Yeah, but that's a human rights violation. That's what ISAT Buchanan, how he
There's
want
a whole
the
heap
SOE
of wrong.
cases.
There's a whole heap of wrongdoing in Jean and Pantan case.
ISAT Buchanan want everybody that was locked up in during the COVID using SOE that was never charged. They won their cases against the government for holding them indefinitely without charging them. It's a constitutional breach.
Okay, so Parliamentary doesn't see anything wrong with that. I want
nothing wrong with it.
Parliamentary doesn't see anything wrong with that. You understand? Because they have Jean and Pantan in custody. For God, he knows when. What? More than a year?
More than a year.
More than a year without charging her.
So that's a breach of our human rights.
So this goes to show you the systemic corruption, you know. So then how can Parliamentary explain, you understand, that she's not a part of the corruption?
She can't. She have to explain and tell us why she's a part of it, because we know she is. She can't say she's not a part of the corruption.
For her own protection, because maybe the moment she come out, that's it.
You know?
Because she know too much.
But based on our constitutional rights.
Then put her in a witness protection. Send her to Antigua or St. Martin or somewhere.
No, you just put her in the Uncle Sam country or the UK.
Right. Put her in a witness protection if that's the case, lady.
They can't touch her over them places. They might get to her and them look Caribbean island there. Yeah.
But I have never seen someone, right, being held, right, in custody as it relates to the nature of this offense.
Yeah, indefinitely.
Right? That's more than a year
and not being charged. Right? That was my point I was putting out all along. You know, a serious breach of human rights.
Yeah.
You understand?
And constitutional rights too. You're not supposed Section 3, fundamental rights, freedom and rights. It's a breach of the that section of the Constitution.
Yeah.
All right.
So we are looking at the DPP in serious water.
All right. Well, I'm gonna Google something.
Treachery water.
But remember,
let me Google something here because I want to know if she shot. So let me Google it.
But remember that if she even to go into witness protection, it has to be signed off by certain people way up. And you don't know how far this SSL thing, well, it gone to the Prime Minister. So
well, that's true. You're right.
Involved, and they're going to need a Justice Minister and all of them people who sign off on certain documents.
Well, the only savior was Virginia and Pantano. The only savior was Virginia and Pantano. Is it when the new sheriff coming down?
Exactly.
The new sheriff already knows that Gina and Pantano have nothing to do with the $3 billion. You understand? And a lot of people know that 90% of people know that this woman don't.
Okay, hold on. So we could correct this.
Yeah.
Right, because we just Google it. Right? So Jean and Pantan was today, February 17, 2023, charged with breaches of the Last Act, the Proceeds of Crime Act, the Forgery Act, and the Cybercrime Act. Right? So she was charged. Right?
So when did that trial took place, Byron?
Huh?
When did that trial took place?
She pleaded. She had a signed confession.
This is what I'm saying. You understand? Them charge her for these things.
Yeah.
Right? And she confessed that she had done them.
But did she go to court before a judge?
Then she retract her statement.
Yeah.
So why she don't get a retrial then if she did charge?
Yeah, because I never heard of any trial.
There's no trial yet, Melting Pot.
That's what I'm saying. So how she been charged?
She's yet to try.
So she just formally charged.
Yeah, she was charged. She just been charged. She's yet to be tried.
Yeah. So did she?
So is it
did
a
she-
case where she's
did they grant
she
her-
has no
did they-
bail?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. Did they grant her any bail?
Based on what you have seen here, she has not got, there's nothing mentioned about bail here.
But if a woman have $3 billion, yeah, how come she can't get bail? And who represent her? Who was her lawyer? We don't see all of these things. Did the state represent
all
her?
right.
Bail denied.
Bail denied. So this is because of the attack, me do some research. Bail denied for SSL fraud accused Jeannette Panton after doctor rejects seizure claim. Kingston, Jamaica, Jeannette Panton, the former Stocks and Security Limited SSL wealth advisor, and multiple fraud charges, right, was on Thursday further remanded after a judge denied her bail application. So,
okay,
right, her bail was denied.
Okay.
Right? So the information is there. The information is there. So we know that Jeannette Panton has been charged, right? She posed for bail and bail denied. Right? But you know, she's the only person that has been charged.
And she can't be the only person involved in,
Can't be the only
in that
person that is
cash.
charged.
Because the check them have to have more than one signature. Because it's not a commercial bank she working in where she have access to physical cash. She have to get a check signed out to take to these banks to withdraw these money. So which other signature was on the check them?
And why didn't the bank question why she withdrawing so much money?
Well, you know, that's why you find it said the situation are very serious. You understand? And that is one of the reasons why now, right? Why can't we hear, right?
What's in the Kroll report?
What's in the Kroll report as it relates to who are the persons recommended to be charged?
Right.
Yeah.
We don't know.
That's where the question I am asking lies within the Kroll report.
But here's the thing now, Melting Pot. We don't know if after the Kroll report came out, right? Might be you, Curry, was recommended to be charged, and that is one of the reasons why you, Curry, lift up.
Yeah.
We don't know that.
We don't know that. Maybe Nigel Clark in I too. Because some people are lift up, you know. That's why I made that call them name there. But we not. But you are no. We have to wrap up. So we have to go wrap up. Because we continue, we have a dig.
Yeah. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for the night.
Yeah, man. And I just want to say to the voters, them, you know.
Passing through.
I just want to say to the voters, them in Jamaica. 1:32. The changing of the guard is coming. And the changing of the guard means we have to make that change from corruption to prosperity.
Integrity.
Right? Yeah. So, people, just get ready for voting day. And make sure no, the X go right beside the head.
Lovely.
All right.
Amen.
All right. Blessings. So yes, once again, blessing Pastor Ricky.
Yeah, man, big respect. Thanks for having me, Lady Anne-Marie Sir Byron. Melting Pot, big up yourself until we meet again Thursday night, Titans.
No, tomorrow, I'll give you a call tomorrow. May I run through some little intricate details.
All right. Me?
Yeah, man. Yeah,
all right. Come anytime after 1 p.m. Come have some things to do in the morning.
All right.
Yeah, man. Respect. Blessings.
Yeah, man. Blessings.
All right. Good night, everybody. Everyone in the chat. Good night. God bless.
All right.